Oh, and that's not what we wanted to happen. So before we get there, we'll do this.
Super Kick
I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
It's not college basketball. It's Clarence time!
Okay, what is up, Friday Nighters? All right, a little bit of jitters.
It's all right. It's all right.
Guys, if you don't know, my name is CM Chuck.
I'm Double A.
We are Just Another Friday Night, San Antonio's premier pop culture podcast with P breaks. Love that T right there. Guys, this is an important and big show for us because we got our buddies from Collecting Weekly allowing us to stream via their many followers that they have via YouTube and on their Facebook group. So we're excited to be part of the CW family as guest show hosts and take over your Fridays for you a little bit and talk all kinds of stuff. So let's get right to the comments, right, Double A?
Yeah,
People are rolling in here. Let's go. Love it, man. Appreciate you being here. Collector's Entity says, what's up, fellas? What's up, guys? Toy Mafia in the house. Toy Mafia, we appreciate you being here. I don't want to butcher someone's name. Aurelis Delgado says hello. And Brenton says, hey guys, what's up, Brenton? We remember you coming visiting us on our last was it last episode or 2 episodes back, I think. Yeah. But Double A, adrenalize me, brother. How the hell are you? How was the week?
Oh, it's a hot week. It got hotter, it seems, from Monday through Friday. I think Monday was wet, and then Friday was just super hot.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I hear you. Not as hot as though for our buddies that are over in the Great North, man. Our buddy CJ Belanger
right?
up in Canada.
You think Canada just be cold all the time, right?
I know. And then wildfires raging. And then our good friend Anthony Caruso of Tis the Podcast is up in New York. So you had mentioned this offline, but that he's broke out the COVID mask, man, because the air breathing is no bueno. So no good. Oh, what do we got here? This is pretty cool.
Happy to see Fridays are back on CW, Collecting Weekly. Greetings from South Africa.
Oh, greetings, nice. Man. And
I
I did not want to butcher your name, man, but we really appreciate you, the super chat there. That's really awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And Toy Mafia getting some love from Brenton there. Who else we got here?
Everyday Collector.
The Everyday Collector's in the house. Hey guys, what's up,
Happy
John?
Friday.
Guys, thank you so much for all week long promoting us and building this up. I want to thank Zach, the Oxfather himself. I want to thank Dean the Dream, obviously, also too. Everyone that helped facilitate us, kind of like you said, bringing something back on Friday nights for you guys to hopefully enjoy. Again, me and Double A have been doing this though now for what?
It's 3 years already, a little over 3 years. We started during COVID, kind of just to, I don't know, just.
We wanted
Get
something that was
things off our
ours.
chest.
Yeah, we wanted, a place that we could come and talk about the stuff we always talked about.
Yeah.
I
mean, we're both kind of going through a rough period. And we're like,
I think
let's just check it out. Let's just see how this goes. And if it doesn't work out, hey, that'll be it.
We tried it, right?
Yeah.
And here we are 3 years later, 171 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
We remember getting to 75. We remember getting to, 100 and
I
thinking
thought
like
20 was like a big deal. I was
that's true. We did think 20 was a big deal, and so and here we are. We started doing 30-minute episodes on Spotify and Anchor, and then now Spotify owns Anchor, and so our early episodes are on audio, but almost everything for we try to do 25 episodes a season, we call it. So if you want to go back and check out any of the old episodes,
they're all kind of
they're all
together,
built in a playlist on our YouTube channel, which is at JAFN Podcast. I think I have some of that stuff in the banners here. Maybe I don't know.
Nothing is really off the table. I mean, we talk, music, films, cartoons.
We watched a couple of documentaries. We watched Mike Tyson, The Knockout. So a little bit different for you guys that are hardcore collectors. We collect also.
We collect, yes.
But again, our conversation kind of lends to, a little bit all over the pop culture realm. What was out there for us, Double A? Did we do anything that was really, just didn't seem not in the realm of... I don't think so. I mean, everything kind of touches it, you know what I mean? But we covered The Last Dance. Double A was just telling me he rewatched it because he watched Air, and that he was like, man, right after I watched Air, I wanted to watch The Last Dance again. We did an episode on The Last Dance. Like I said, Mike Tyson, I guess you call that a documentary, right? It was the knockout about his kind of rise and fall. And we love boxing, so it was cool to talk about that great documentary. We covered Winning Time that was on HBO, you know what I mean? Because, that was just a great ass show. We hate the Lakers, sorry for the Lakers fans, but we're in San Antonio, so we're Spurs fans, so we'll put that out there right now. When it comes to football, though, hey, it's fair game. Go after us if you want. But, we were just like, that was just a great show. John C. Reilly, you know what I mean? We're just like, so when we see great stuff like that, we want to talk about it. So if you get a chance, go over to our Facebook page, give us a like there and a follow. If you get a chance, we're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, we're on, like I said, follow us on Spotify. You know what I mean? Like almost everything is at JFN Podcast. All week long, we promote the episode that, we talked about the Friday before. So all next week, you'll see us posting up our favorite pictures and images from, obviously what we're going to talk about tonight. But like last week, we put up a bunch of great Guardians of the Galaxy pictures because we talked about the Guardians of the Galaxy as a trilogy. Yeah. So
franchise, really.
As a franchise, yeah. And like, all the great stuff James Gunn did for Marvel, but what's he going to do now with DC? You know what I mean? Like, do we have full faith in him, So, guys, I don't have my glasses on, so Double A does my reading for me. If you see anything, Double A, that, feel like we should pop in there, let me know that we should comment that we should hit. There's a whole bunch that we see here. We got Collecting Weekly in the house. Says, Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Be sure to check John and Club out after. The
Yes.
best place to be on Friday night.
Absolutely, guys. And you saw me post it earlier. If you're a fan of our Facebook group, if you're in there, if you're not, please join. We'd love to have you be a member of the Friday Night Faithful. Just so you guys know, when I say "What's up, Friday Nighters," that is me and Adam, and that is all of you. We call our fans and people that watch us the Friday Nighters, and then collectively we make up the Friday Night Faithful. So that's the name of our Facebook group. In there, we drop everything from Double A will post great music videos.
Updates on trailers.
Hell, we talked about Al Pacino and De Niro having babies in their 80s because we're just like, what do people think about this? We want to hear, what like other people that are in like-minded individuals, like to talk about. You'd be
surprised. Yeah, you'd be surprised who's into what and who's not into this, and
those are two actors that we love. We did a whole episode where we covered movies of the 70s and how cinema was in the 70s, and then later on we covered a director that's very well known for working with those two guys, Martin Scorsese. We have an episode about Scorsese, about Tarantino, you know what I mean? So we're huge fans of all that, those genres, those type of things. Like I said, our tastes kind of like swing from, here to there. I would say we're jack of all trades, masters of none. We don't really have a specific,
we like a lot of everything, so we just want to talk about it.
Yeah, we're comic book guys, we're Marvel guys, but we love DC too, you know what I mean? And, Image. We did an episode about Image's 30 years, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that whole, exodus from there and what they did. So, what I was mentioning earlier in our group and on our page, we posted up the Collecting Weekly guys are having a really great contest. They're going to give away this badass Carnage. Did you see the Carnage?
Yes.
I mean, that is sweet, guys. So right now, if you go click on the link, enter the form or whatever, and there you can get bonus entries for following some of the people here that Collecting Weekly mentioned. Go do that. Give them a follow, and you can get a bonus entry for us. I don't know what that is right there, but you can get a bonus entry for following us. Is what I was told. Again, use the code, I think JAFN is what it is. Just another Friday night. That's us. So go do that. Get yourself a bonus entry. Get you a chance to win that Hot Toys Carnage. From what I understand, those things are pretty damn expensive. But man, it looks
Carnage all of a sudden got big again.
It looks sweet. I know that's one of my nephew's favorites.
Yeah,
you know what
I was
mean?
like, man, what the hell happened? For a while, he was like super hot, and then he became like sort of a joke where Century ripped him in half. That's how far down he went. Like, he was supposed to be a representation of the 90s being destroyed, and then all of a sudden he got super hot again. I mean,
I just remember that Maximum Carnage series.
I've always liked him. He's crazy. He's a serial killer.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know why my nephew latched onto that one, but that was something that he.
I was surprised too. I thought Venom for sure, and
he loves Venom too. He does love Venom.
But it's Carnage. It's all about Carnage.
All about Carnage. Yeah. Guys, we like to take a chance. One of the main things about our podcast that we love is the opportunity to interact with you guys live and in real time. So we loved and again, when I started looking at Collecting Weekly and seeing what those guys do, I was amazed. I was like, oh, it's cool. They interact in real time with their audience and their fans. So we like to do the same thing too. We love you guys obviously interacting with each other. But if you have questions for us or things that you want to comment on about about what we're saying. Like Double A always says, excuse me, you want to tell us we're full of shit? Tell us, you know what I mean? You want to tell us that opinion's wrong? Tell us, you know what I mean? But we crack open some beers. We chop it up in the way that we think that, you know, our opinions about things. We don't take a lot of opportunity to shit on things because that's not really our argument.
Because if we wanted to talk about it, we're not going to talk about it.
Right,
know?
yeah, if it's not...
Like
if it's
it
not,
sucked, then we're not going to talk about it.
Right. When during the pandemic, right, when we kind of first started, we were excited for the Mortal Kombat movie that was coming to HBO Max at the time, HBO Max, because everything was coming to HBO Max, right? Like, oh, everything's at home, and we're like, yeah, we'll do an episode on it. And after we both saw it, we were like, you know, we'll probably skip that one. No need to do that.
No.
But anything in the comments you want me to pull on Double A, let me know.
Jeremy's in the house. He was like, hey, what's up? And then we're just getting a lot of people telling us what's up.
What's up, Jeremy? What's up, everyone? Yeah,
thank you for coming in and checking us out.
Yeah, we seriously appreciate you guys being here, man. Totally. Let me see here if I can post up any more links for you guys. Again, just to take you to our website. It actually goes to our link tree. So there you can get access to all of our social medias. It's pretty much what it takes you straight to on there. So, but man, you guys look like the Collecting Weekly guys. They're old hat at this, so they've got all their things set up. We appreciate that, guys. Jeremy, we appreciate you being here in the house, brother, as everyone else. Jeremy's my girlfriend's youngest son, so that's
the one above. Mike Oxlong says, "How can I enter?"
Let me see here. Oh, right here. Yeah, go to Collecting Weekly's page, or go to our page, Just Another Friday Night, on Facebook. It's a Google form there. You got to fill it out, and then again you put in the code for the bonuses, and you'll get an opportunity to win that, man. It's a sweet looking figure, man. So by all means, yeah, Double A, do that thing. Again, without my eyes, I
Chris
can't
Tron says, hey, what's up, guys? Is this a Spider-Man movie review with spoilers? I have seen it already. It's great. Yes, it is. It's going to be a spoiler-filled episode.
I will say that normally when we cover something, guys, whether it's a show or a movie, it does have spoilers. I have a banner already set up. I haven't run it yet, because usually in the first 30 minutes we kind of just like to talk one-on-one with you guys, catch up on news if there was anything specific. What was the big... Again, sadly, Double A, we always do this, but there's always a passing of someone or whatever. And the big one this week was the legendary Iron Sheik, right? Sheiky Baby.
Sheiky Baby.
Yeah.
Jabroni. That was a jabroni. Yeah.
Did you see The Rock's great video?
Yes, I did.
Great video from The Rock, man. All the credit. He gave him all the credit for Jabroni.
And he always has.
Really,
that's not the first time he's ever said that. So, Brenton says Mortal Kombat movie was a disappointment. Let me see.
But yeah, I loved what The Rock had to say about the Iron Sheik. I don't think the Iron Sheik ran his own Twitter and social media. I think he had people running it for him, but they kind of were like, I guess, authorized to speak in his voice.
Yeah, probably.
And it was hilarious because he was always, talking about like fuck the Hulk Hogan and break your back, make you humble. You know what I mean? So it's like, but these are things that the Iron Sheik said at one time. Put you in the camel clutch.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy was an iconic heel, right?
I mean, one of the most recognizable wrestlers for a long time. A heavyweight champion, and then Bob Backlund's reign. Started and then lost to the Hogan, which started the Hulkamania phase. So,
there you go. Yeah, I feel like you needed that great villain in the Iron Sheik.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
the curly boots, right? Yeah. I mean,
what's up, homies? Dean Martin. Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Dean the Dream? Appreciate you being here, brother. Dude, the guy that plays him in Young Rock is shredded, man. I'm like, that guy looks like the Iron Sheik.
He was all right, for a while, until he got his stomach going. But I mean, by that point, he was already in his 50s.
Oh yeah, definitely. What about that news? Young Rock. No more.
Yeah, Young Rock's canceled. It was all right. It wasn't the best, but it was okay.
I liked it.
Yeah,
From when I'm watching my way still through catching up, and I really enjoyed it. So
so we have that. We have the Transformers today that premiered.
Who's going? Are you guys want more Transformers? I mean, I think we want to go see it, right? So
I'm definitely seeing it just because Unicron is in the movie. I love Unicron. I've seen his action figure. The one they just released right now. It's a huge
box,
massive,
right? Yeah,
massive.
Doesn't our friend Transformer collector Jack have two?
Yes,
he says he owns two.
Yes, he has two. So Unicron is such a badass. He's the Galactus of the Transformers universe.
Yeah,
I mean, bar none. He's just. No one can beat him.
We talked about that great voice too, right? Orson Welles. We talked about that last week, and I was like, man, what a voice! And when you hear it, the way they put that auto tune or whatever on it, man, it sounded fucking scary. You know what I mean? So there it is, right there. We had a question about how to enter. Please go right there and do that.
We'll leave that up for a little
Yeah,
bit.
our keyboard is far from us now, so it's like we're trying to get all this stuff going, or whatever, for tonight. What else in news wise? Double A, was there anything else? I think everyone is really geared up for the Flash, obviously.
Oh yeah, that one. I mean, already next week it's already coming out. So Jason, one of our faithful right here. What's up, Jason?
What's up, Jason? We appreciate you. Can I talk? Maybe it's my first time, right? I know. I said we drink beer, guys. We just started right here, though. But yeah, we drink a little bit of beer on this show. So yeah, we appreciate Jason being here again. This is from our previous 170 episodes. You know what I mean? But what else, Double A? Talk a little bit about yourself. Double A, he's a dad. He's a working man, right? I mean,
I mean, Monday through Friday, do this. Kind of takes the edge off a little bit. Kind of gives you something to look forward to, something a little different. Doing the podcast, and just shooting the shit here.
Absolutely, man. It's one of our passions, something that we really do love doing and look forward to. Sometimes after a show, I'll text Double A and I'll just be like, dude, I had so much fun tonight, just hanging here, drinking beer, and
that's all this really is. Honestly, that's all it is for myself and CM.
And talking with all of you guys too, hearing the conversations. I think like I said, I mentioned Brenton jumped on a show a couple weeks back, and we just were kind of going back and forth about certain things.
Season 3, I believe it was.
That's right, Daredevil season 3. That's what it was. Double A, good memory. Have you heard about this whole Punisher thing that's going on in Marvel right now? I know we talked a little bit about it, but
about them getting rid of him.
Quote unquote getting rid of him. You know what I mean?
I mean, I haven't really read it too much, but I mean, it's stupid when you're getting rid of the character or rebooting him, So
yeah, I was talking with some of the guys in the CW group, and I was letting them know, I was just like, Frank is kind of your classic. He's not meant to be admired. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to. You don't want to be Frank, but he's interesting. The same way people are interested in true crime. The same way people are interested in Hannibal Lecter. It's like that's where you should classify the Punisher as.
Like Jerry Conway, the creator, kind of just said he was just supposed to be a one and done. He wasn't supposed to be, having his own comic. So.
I'm just looking at some of the comments. Mike says, "What are you guys drinking?" He says, "Bud Light." No, that's some Shiner right there. I usually bring a mix of what's in my fridge, so I'll move on to this, and then I'll keep going. I'll show you as I go through here, Mike. No Bud Light. I don't think we've ever drank Bud Light on this show, Double A.
I've never been a Bud Light fan. I'm sorry.
Can I be an admin? I don't even know how to do that. I am the least tech savvy person, so that's why I usually call Zach the Oxfather to help me out when I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, literally, we were talking to him 5 minutes before we started, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. Help me out. So yeah. But I definitely agree with that. I mean, Frank Castle. He's an interesting character. He's a complex character. He's one of Marvel's best characters or whatever. But again, it's like, don't take him out because he's not a hero.
Don't get into the pressure, like I said. You're
right.
Fucking it with your core audience there. Trust me, not everyone is buying Punisher comics, They take a symbol and just kind of twist it. I mean, that's all people do. They just take symbols and fucking twist it all up. So
right. I would have appreciated if Marvel would have kind of shown a little bit of balls and been hey man, this is our character, and we're gonna, they could have easily done. They could have took the logo from the show and started using that logo or whatever. It's like, don't do this whole. I mean, I get it. He has had involvement with the Hand and all that, but I don't know. It's crazy.
Well, he's had involvement in the Hand, and he's been Thanos's. Ghost Rider too, so
nuts, man. A little bit more about us. Let's see, Double A. Favorite superhero?
Wolverine.
Wolverine, right there. So for me, Superman. I'm a Superman guy. Favorite villain? Did you have a favorite villain? I don't know if we've talked. We've literally covered the X-Men Rogues Gallery, Batman Rogues Gallery. I know we always land on Dr. Doom. How much we love Dr. Doom.
Magneto
and
too.
Magneto. We love Magneto. Yeah, you liked my shirt that I got, the Magneto shirt that I showed you last week.
That was fucking awesome.
And if you want to know, as far as a podcast together, we've actually had this conversation. It's we would say that Wolverine would be the podcast hero, and Magneto would be the podcast villain for us. But yeah, we've got a great episode. So, that was such a long time ago, right? When we did the Rogues Gallery. Who had the best Rogues Gallery? And
we kind of pinned it down to Spider-Man, obviously Batman. Those are probably the two big ones. We did give X-Men some love because they have a great rogues gallery as a group. We gave Superman. We probably said he probably has the most underrated rogues gallery.
Yeah, pretty underrated.
Yeah,
and pretty
he
solid.
Has a really good rogues gallery, and I forget who else, but I mean, we have put some teams. Fantastic Four, I think, was in there, but yeah, ultimately, what it comes down to, Spider-Man, Batman, I think always is going to have the most impressive rogues gallery. Oh, Wolverine, we even said
Wolverine, yeah, definitely. Yeah. And one of the things we say too, and it's like nothing that no one has never heard before that people know, is that you're only as good as your best villain, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, and we just had this big conversation last week about, it was in our Facebook page about if there was a Mount Rushmore of all of the comic book characters, good or bad, who would be on there? And
just comic book characters that you would know, like, even if you weren't able to, even if you didn't read comics,
right?
But you still recognize them. Like, most people know who Batman is without even reading a comic book.
Superman, the symbol is like iconic as like Coca-Cola, McDonald's arches. So it's like we were like Batman, Superman, obviously. Then we were like Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like he's definitely going to be there. Yeah. He is Marvel's like guy. You know what I mean? But then we couldn't land on a fourth. We had people telling us Wonder Woman. We talked about the Joker at length. Then we were like, man, should it be 3 DC to 1 Marvel? Like, does Marvel not have anybody else?
No, I mean, that's the way. That's how iconic more the DC characters probably are.
But I also think though, like you had said though, when you had talked about the X-Men, the X-Men are iconic as themselves. Like the grouping.
The group was the hottest comic book for like 10, 12 years under Claremont. I mean, and obviously it has the record for the most sales for one issue. The Jim Lee issue number 1. So.
And the X-Men has become like what they are like. Again, they're like the Avengers, where like everyone's been in the X-Men, everyone's been an Avenger, right? And it's like they're so encompassing. There's so much to them. I mean, like they literally have their own like storylines that cross over and touch everything in all of Marvel. I mean, it's like that's how expensive the X-Men are. I mean, so it's like I don't even know like if you'd put like a cluster of 5 faces or who you'd put, but I mean, like literally the X-Men deserve. I mean, all of the kudos.
So it was kind of like me and CM were kind of thinking if anything, it probably would have been Superman, Batman, Joker, and Spider-Man. So I mean, if you were to put, and that's just based on it's not our personal Mount Rushmore. It's just kind of like what characters will people recognize the most?
And I like Wolverine. I think that Wolverine.
I love Wolverine. Wolverine would always be my on my Mount Rushmore. But if you see like the movies, I mean, Joker made $1 billion, and anytime he's in a Batman movie, it's very hot every time.
Yeah.
If you see, Superman, I mean, people just know Superman is already.
Well, look at what just happened with this Pattinson one, right? Like.
Yes,
we're watching Pattinson,
Batman, but we made a lot of money.
Where everyone's first thought, you're foaming at the mouth for like, okay, well, who's going to be his Joker? Like we need now. You've introduced a new Batman, great, but where's the Joker? And that's why there was like that. What was his name? Barry Keogh. The cut scene or whatever of him.
Oh yes.
People were like so like again salivating for that. They're like, okay, we can't wait to see Batman against the Joker because that is the classic rivalry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. What else we got here, Double A? Things worth popping in here. Let me know if there's anything you want to touch on. Again, guys, from this distance, my eyes are total shit. So, but we hope you guys are enjoying the show. Again, a little bit, just to say a little bit more about us and kind of again, just as far as like, again, we mentioned being Spurs fans. Adam is a Dallas Cowboys fan when it comes to football. I'm a New England Patriots fan. It was mainly because of Tom Brady, and I know Tom's done now, but
Mike said, "Did I just put cocaine in beer?" Well, you'll see as the show keeps going.
It's not cocaine bear, cocaine
Absolute
beer.
Irwin said, "Glad to catch the launch episode. I love that pick."
Yes, that's awesome. A great pick, man. Love that. Yeah, we appreciate you being here,
like
Irwin.
The comedian, right?
Oh, you guys. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the comedian. I love it.
Yeah, X-Men is the best. From
can't argue with the X-Men, man.
Danny Lee.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to not, find one version of the X-Men that you enjoy truly. You know what I mean? So.
Well, see, and that's the thing, Gil. Cool that you're in here. He goes, I go, it's not DC or Marvel. What about Spawn as an honorable Mount Rushmore?
I thought about that because he is the image guy.
I would say so, but how many people actually know Spawn? Like that's how we're kind of doing it. If you're, putting, the people that people would recognize. How many people will recognize those characters? So
Yeah. Double A hit on some of those. I believe that's what Zach told me is a super chat. Because that's what we see the $9.99 there, or whatever. So, again, guys, I have the least tech savvy there is. Whatever. I managed to, when in our inception, me and Double A were eating tacos, and he's like, "How do you do a podcast?" And I was like, "I don't really know, but I'll figure it out." So, as I'm learning or whatever, you know what I mean. But yeah, Chris, thank you for the. I guess it's the $4.99. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool. It looks like you guys are contributing something here, so that's amazing to me. Whatever. I will have Zach fill me in later on about all that, but it's pretty badass. So I appreciate that, guys. That's awesome. We thank you guys so much for being here and joining our conversation again. Forgive my nerves. I'm normally not like this. Double A deal. It's going to be a little bit. And again, guys, if you want to hear me interview, Zach and Dean the Dream, I have an episode. We have an episode with them. One of the episodes where Double A was out, you know what I mean? He wasn't able to join me that night, so I was like, you know what? I'll take an opportunity to pull a show. You know what I mean? Like, again, we have obviously lives outside of this, so it's like we get Double A's got a family and stuff like that, and I've got a longtime girlfriend and my
usually,
nephew. So
like our Fridays are usually always pretty wide open. I say maybe the chances that we don't do it most of the time it's like less than 1%. Maybe. I mean,
yeah. And we grew up together, so we're cousins by blood, but we're practically brothers, you know what I mean? Because we've known each other our entire lives. So a lot of people were like, "Oh, we love you guys' rapport. Like, how do you know each other or whatever?" And I was like, "We grew up together." So literally, like, and we're about 5 years in age difference. 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that's this exact same amount almost as me and my sister. Me and my sister are 5 years apart, and they get along like gangbusters, and we get along like gangbusters. So
yeah, but I mean, in case you guys want to know, I mean, we have, like I said, we touch about everything. Like we're thinking about doing, an episode like on the Three Stooges, because it's going to be either 100 years next year, or I think it's already been 100 years since their like short debut came out. And they're still showing those guys on TV. So I mean, we're thinking about doing that. A James Bond one.
There's a bunch of great programming that we just caught up on recently. Double A started watching Daredevil, like you said. Which I had told him, I was like, dude, I would love to do Daredevil. He's like, man, I couldn't get into it. He's like, man, I had the right time and I got into it. And then he blew past me because he was like, dude, did you see season 3? Did you see Defenders? And I was like, no, I kind of stopped. So then he got me back into it. We watched those. He blew through The Punisher. I loved Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad. We're going to talk about those. And this guy can watch, he can grind it out, man. He can binge. He's a binge watcher.
Yeah, so. Like yesterday, my wife was kind of out, so I saw the whole season of The Bear. I don't know if any of you guys have seen The Bear on Hulu. It has
anybody in it?
That Jeremy White, I think that's his name, the one who's going to play Kerry Von Erich in the upcoming Von Erich movie. He just won a whole bunch of awards.
Not the Zac Efron, right? He's going to be.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, him? Mm-hmm. Really? No shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what's the main plot of this one?
So,
I know you sent me the synopsis.
Yeah,
for anybody that doesn't.
And actually, John Bertha comes out a little bit.
Oh,
in
nice.
Show he's like a top-notch chef that his brother dies, and so he has to go back. He has to leave his position and go and run this fucking Chicago sandwich shop that's just filthy, and he's got to try to make money with it, but he's got to pretty much rebuild it,
Okay, so it's a rooted in reality, very serious kind of vibe. And I was telling Double A I have a PS5 or whatever. I don't game that much, but
Jeremy Allen White.
Okay,
he plays Carmi Bear.
Okay,
I don't know if you recognize.
Oh, okay, so Bear's the last name. No, I don't recognize that guy. Whatever, but
yeah, so he broke out, and Micro's in there too.
Oh, I know this guy's from. He's from Andor and stuff like that.
And Punisher.
We're looking at
the Bear.
Eben Moss.
Yeah, he's Micro.
Oh yeah, he's Micro too. Yeah, that's right. When we were watching Andor, we were like, I know that guy from somewhere.
Love the Bear.
If you guys, like I said,
did Adam really put cocaine in his beer?
No, it was Solly one. I forget, guys. Also, if you're from somewhere else that's not San Antonio, Texas, please tell us. We're here in San Antonio, Texas. I know some of the Collecting Weekly guys, but I got to remember, Double A, these guys' audience is all over. They literally have a show that's in England. So, I mean, guys, forgive us if we're not sensitive.
Yes, there is going to be a Von Erich movie. Zac Efron, I think, and them are putting the finishing touches on him. Apparently, Kevin Von Erich is very happy with the outcome. So
That's good. And is he the one that's coming here to San Antonio to speak, Double A?
Yes, he is. He's actually coming here in San Antonio.
And it's going to be a Q&A style? Or
No, he's just going to be telling stories, which is amazing.
Yeah,
you know?
I saw Mick Foley do that. Again, if you guys haven't picked up already, we're huge wrestling fans as well. We have many wrestling episodes. So if you guys are wrestling fans, we hope that we'll become your go-to.
Yes, it is.
But I saw Mick Foley's thing, and it was hilarious. I wasn't sure what I was getting into with that, and it was at a comedy club, and it was fantastic. And then it was a small comedy club here in San Antonio. He bothered to say, everyone that's here right now, I'm going to sign autographs and sign whatever you have with you. And met everyone and shook hands and is a giant of a man. I didn't realize.
Yeah,
I was
he's
like
6'4".
Yeah, I was like sitting down. He was like my height. I was like, holy shit. I was like, Mick is a big guy.
Mick,
you know what I mean?
was 6'4".
But so nice. So nice.
She says, I'm in Salina, Texas.
Okay, great. Where is that? I want to know where that's
Right
at.
under Marco.
Okay, all right.
I live in Ohio.
Hey, our logo is co-designed by a gentleman that's in Ohio. He's a really great guy. He's been doing our stickers and stuff like that for years. So, yeah, man, we got love for Ohio for sure. Appreciate you guys letting us know that as well.
Yeah, so, I mean, man, it's only 8 episodes, less than an hour, The Bear. I think it's really good. It was really good. And the second season's coming out June 22nd, so.
Okay. And I've got a PS5, guys. I was talking about that with the gaming. I mentioned that because I got Apple TV free for 6 months, which was perfect timing because I love Ted Lasso, and I got to see Ted Lasso season 3. But I was also, like, browsing through there for everything else. The Tetris movie was great with...
I need to see that one.
Taron Egerton, yeah. Who, when I started seeing him in that, I was like, all right, I could see people why they want him for Wolverine. I could see it, you know what I mean? I also saw the other show that he's in, Blackbird, which also has it's him and Stingray from Cobra Kai. No, dude, he's a real weirdo in this one. Like he's a pretty good actor, man. Okay. Yeah, I know he was in that Richard Jewell also. Yes, I didn't see that. Yes, yeah. But that show Blackbird AA, I gotta tell AA, I'm gonna hook him up with Apple Plus because it's Apple TV because there's some good shit on there. And I watched Severance, and man, that show is a good mind fuck. Like it's like what the fuck. I mean, like I loved Westworld, even though I know it got out there for some people. But that show Severance, if you guys have Apple TV or you've been on the fence, it's worth getting for Ted Lasso, for Severance, Blackbird. We watched all of the M. Night one. Servant, which was really good, strong at the beginning, but then it was 4 seasons and it could have been 2 seasons. Okay, it could have been
Mike
2 seasons.
Says, "What's his name? I don't know who you're talking about, Mike."
Mike, tell us who you're referring to.
I put a sticker hidden in the pentagram.
Oh, there we go. That sounds like Gil right there. Our cousin and friend of the show, Gil works. I don't know if I should be saying that, but Gil does work for the Pentagon.
Tetris is a great movie. I agree. Chris Tron says
nice. He's coming to Texas. So I don't think he's work for the Pentagon anymore. So.
And Danny Lee says, "I love Yellowstone."
I hear nothing but good things. Are you going to start it?
I don't know. I just canceled my Paramount right
now. Oh,
so
okay. Well,
I don't know because I was seeing Yellow Jackets. I don't know if any of you guys are into Yellow Jackets, but
it finished.
Yeah, it finished now.
So that's when you were like, "I'm cutting it now." Another friend of the pod, our friend Joe Martinez, who's also a podcaster who does a show called Now Watch This.
Is great.
He is a huge Yellowstone guy and said we gotta watch Yellowstone. So I started it with my girlfriend. And I noticed that we kind of both started getting on our phones, and I was like, "Damn, is this not for us?" But like, it's like, have you watched Succession? Because I haven't. I hear nothing but good things, but it looks boring to me. Like I was like that shit looks to me like how my work looks. I'm like people in suits and in offices. I was like, people are like, "Oh, it's like Game of Thrones," but today, and I'm like, I don't want to see Game of Thrones
today. That's just
today.
all I keep hearing.
I want to see Game of Thrones then.
Like I've heard Yellowstone's the same thing. Yellowstone.
I'm like. Again, we're comic book guys. We're into this this type of shit. So we're like, I need a little bit of like dragons or swords or fucking someone with webs coming out of their hands to make me more gassed up.
Absolute Irwin says, "Love the logo and love that Black Album Tanker."
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, man, this is actually Double A's mug, but it's my mug that I use when we're on the show. And normally he has a really cool one from the band Ghost. If you're good.
Yeah, but I just need my bigger mug.
Yeah, we're huge rock fans.
It's on Peacock too. I do not have Peacock either.
All right. I'm telling you, I'm stacked up.
Do you
so
sell
I need to go
t-shirts?
Oh. We will.
Your
We
day in
can.
the story, man.
If you want one, let us know, man. I will get on it for you. I am our go-to merch guy. We used to have some shirts for sale online. They currently went down because our online guys switched companies, whatever. But get with me offline, Mike. I'll hook you up. I'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. Anyone else that wants
Yellowstone is a must. I have spoken.
Okay, Dean says it.
And
there
it's crazy,
is.
Dean, because like I actually like Kevin Costner. I think Kevin Costner is a badass. I like a lot of
Agreed.
his movies. I don't know why I didn't jump on Yellowstone when it came out. I don't know why.
And I felt like it was one of those shows that was kind of sleeping. Like people were watching it and talking about it, but it wasn't like Game of Thrones big. And then by the time I knew it's like 5 seasons, and I was like, oh shit! I was like, that's like a lot of seasons. Guys, I'll tell you the truth. I didn't watch Breaking Bad till it was done. Then I watched it all, which was great for me because I was like, I could not have waited for this. I needed it all when I got it all. So,
Gail says, "What about Twisted Metal? Are you excited for that?"
Anthony Mackie, right? Yeah, I'll check it out. You know what I saw yesterday? Was it yesterday? Thursday. What was yesterday? I don't know what day it is.
Thursday.
Wednesday. No, Wednesday night. What I saw was I saw the trailer for Gran Turismo, and I was like,
I saw that
this
too.
looks kind of good.
Yeah, but it's based on a PlayStation. But
Yeah, it's based on a game.
story?
Now, I guess maybe about the guy getting a chance to drive. Now, our good friend Friday Nighter Marquise would play that game all the time. And I would play it just to wreck the cars because I was like, this is awesome. I want to see the car flip over, which he hated. But he loved that game and like swore by it and the cars and all that. And I will just say that it looked really sleek, the trailer. It looked badass. I was like, okay, Gran Turismo. And Twisted Metal, yeah, I mean, I'm for it. You know, I'll give anything a shot. You know what I mean? So,
Collecting Weekly says, save me an XXL.
I got you
Danny
guys.
says XL in 2 months.
All right, here we go. There we go. Let's do it.
Maybe 3.
I know these guys been hitting the gym, man, so I got to see that. All right, you guys got to get me in there. All right? I'm trying to work these.
Yeah, that's
right
a great long sleeve. Isn't that a great long sleeve?
I picked this up yesterday just for all of you
Man.
because Double A was like, "Are we wearing just other Friday night shirts?" And I was like, "We can."
You know what? I'll represent.
But
the
see,
logo.
how was I wrong? Look at him. He wears the shirt, and we get offers for shirts.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We talked about ourselves and bullshitted for about 35 minutes here. What do you think, Double A? I think it's
let's
time.
get into it. Let's get into the Miles
We're gonna show
Morales
you
Spider-Man
guys
era.
how we normally do this, how we really get down, guys. We're still gonna read your comments because we definitely want to hear you coming in.
please
But
jump in.
last Friday, we're really Thursday technically. We've been waiting, right? 2018 Into the Spider-Verse comes
Actually,
out.
I mean, you know, yeah, okay. Yeah,
And
yeah.
how did you feel, Double A, about Into the Spider-Verse?
I liked it. You know, it didn't blow me away though.
Really?
Immediately. I mean,
Okay.
it looked beautiful. It looked
Okay.
fantastic, right?
Okay.
Okay. It wasn't until probably the credits, the after credits, that got me pumped up.
All right.
Okay,
All
but
right.
it's 2018, like you said. It's 2023 now, so I kind of already lost track. You know, for that hype, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so my daughter said she wanted to go. I said, okay, let's go. We saw it. I was blown away by the new one. I mean, just blown away.
I
Loved
could tell
it.
because you were texting me a lot
Yeah.
more about this than I know than we had talked
Yeah.
about that. Now, we did an episode about trilogies, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about all Marvel trilogies. We didn't just talk about...
Was it just Marvel or it was just
Yeah, it
Marvel.
was just Marvel.
Yes.
I mean,
and when you talk about trilogy, I mean, we even talked about the Bill Bixby trilogy movies.
yeah, we mixed the Sony and we were just like Marvel. If it was a Marvel
if
character,
it had
now
3,
boom.
boom.
But if it had 4, we kicked it out, so we didn't keep it if it was 4.
like Avengers
and X-Men, which had too many. It was like
yeah.
it has too many, so we're not going to count it. So when we talked about at that time, there was like the Spider-Man or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We hadn't had No Way Home yet.
No.
We did it. So we talked about
the
Toby ones, right? And we were like, I mean, those were awesome or whatever. And I mean, like, Tobey Maguire. I mean, like that was like kind of like when we never thought we were gonna see that.
No, hell no.
We never thought we were gonna see Spider-Man. But I remember feeling afterwards, I was like, man, you know what? I don't think that we talked about Spider-Man in that segment. We didn't talk enough about Into the Spider-Verse to me because, man, every time I watch this movie, I am like hype. Like I fucking love Into the Spider-Verse. I think it is an excellent movie. It is easily one of the best Spider-Man movies, if not the best.
People at that time were putting it as the best.
Yeah, I mean, like after I saw No Way Home, I could see where No Way Home.
I mean,
yeah, it's hard to not. Yes.
Yeah, when you get Tobey and Andrew Garfield back, yeah.
I mean, in those moments, you're hyped for it, and and it's live
and the
action
villains that they got back.
Oh yeah, and not Murdoch, for goodness sakes, you know what I mean? Like how much more is that better for you now, having seen Daredevil?
Yeah,
like
a
that's
lot
like
better.
that's so
better.
dope. But Into the Spider-Verse, and again, and our good friend Jerry D from Totally Rad Christmas, he's another podcaster, great guy. We've been on numerous episodes of his. If you guys like Christmas podcasts about the 80s, Jerry D is your guy. Go check out the podcast, Totally Rad Christmas. He said he'd never seen it. And Jerry D is a good comic book guy. He's like, never seen it. He's like, but because I'm a Peter Parker guy, not a Miles guy. And I didn't want to ruin it for him. I want to tell him, well, dude, you get plenty of Peter Parker. You know what I mean? But I just was in love with Into the Spider-Verse. I was like, man, this is a fantastic movie. It has so much freaking heart. Like, I just could not get over it. You know what I mean? So, and I loved the soundtrack. You know what I mean? And again, I knew nothing about Miles Morales. I mean, like, I knew that... He came
into the Ultimates universe, which by, I think, that point, me and you...
We had dropped off. Yeah, we were reading everything Ultimates, but then we dropped off, so it wasn't reading Ultimates anymore. But I just was like, okay, so Bendis created him, you know what I mean? Like, you know, we both have had the opportunity to meet Brian Michael Bendis. I didn't think to bring anything, I don't think I had anything Miles Morales at that time, whatever. No, but I mean, after this movie, I was a fan. I was like that. And also, too, who I really fell in love with was, and I knew of her, had seen her imagery, but I didn't know really too much other than that she was like an alternate universe, Gwen Stacy, was Spider-Gwen. Well, how I was like, I love the color scheme. I love the Chuck Taylors. I was like, what a great character. You know what I mean? Like, I love even their chemistry in that first movie. So there was so much about Into the Spider-Verse that I loved. But it's interesting to hear me say it didn't blow you away.
No, not right away. Dean says No Way Home is only good because of nostalgia. Spider-Verse kills the multiverse storyline for better than for.
If not, then Far From Home. If not one of the best multiverse movies.
And again, this is kind of what we always talked about. As comic book fans, we always love it when stories like this happen. Like we actually get to see them on live screen. I mean, what do we love? We love team ups, right? That's why we love the Avengers movies. Yeah. Everybody's in there, Right. That's what we love about them. And when it's multiverse stories, cool. Doctor Strange. This one now, Ant-Man. Doing all the multiverses. Showing all the different versions, like Ant-Man Quantumania. Showing all the kings at the end. It's like, oh shit.
Right.
So the What If did a really good job of the multiverse too. The What If series on Disney Plus.
Yeah. And I think those two, that because of the way they're presented, it's like high rewatchability. You guys will, anyone that's new to us will learn that one of the things I always say, it's hard for me to give something like 5 stars or 4 stars or 4.5.
Yeah, because you really got to remember when you do it that way. Remember, 5 is supposed to be just almost perfect.
Yeah,
you can see it any time.
Or when people do like 1 out of 10, I'm like, geez. Or I hear people do like 9.3. I'm like, well, what gives you that 0.3? I say this things. Does it have rewatchability? And would I buy a physical copy of it? If it does those two things for me, then it's like that's the tops for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I love Starship Troopers, so I probably would give that one like a 6.5. If I had to, But yeah, so it's like right there.
And it's like to me, it's like I'm more like Roman style, thumbs up, thumbs down. You know what I mean? Like Into the Spider-Verse, I own a great steelbook copy. And I have rewatched it a shit ton of times. I think I may have rewatched it more than I've watched Far From Home. No Way Home.
The third one.
With all the Spider-Man. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you know what I mean? Because again, I love stories.
It takes a little bit, to get into it.
Well, I kind of fall in love right away because I love how
they're long too. Like a lot of these movies are, you got to prep now for, No Way Home was like almost 3-hour movie. So it's not like. Let me watch it when I get home at 6:00, and oh shit, it's already 9:00.
Right.
Damn.
Right. We're marathon watching now.
Okay.
Yeah. But like right away, like I love the relationship with like Miles and his dad. You know what I mean? Like that's like right away you latch onto it. Then you find out he has this uncle. You know what I mean? Uncle Aaron or whatever. Yeah. Which I was like, again, I have a really strong relationship with my nephew. So it's like to me that's like something I latch onto. Which is
something that's always been very strong in the Spider-Man movies. The uncle. Right. My uncle-nephew relationship.
And then, too, we're Latino, so it's like there's a Latino aspect to
He's half African-American, half Puerto Rican.
Right. So it's like, again, we're not Puerto Rican, we're Mexican, but, it's like that's something that, too, like, again, the whole representation thing, right? You start to see, like, man, like, this is kind of cool. This is kind of different. You know what I mean? Like, even when I see Miles on screen now, it's like my nephew's hair right now is like big like his hair because he's got like this curly, just like naturally curly hair. But it like when he takes a shower and it dries out, it's like puffs up big. And I'm like, oh, you're rocking the Miles Morales look right now. You know what
Absolute
I mean?
Irwin says, yeah, rewatching is a task nowadays with the movies going over 2 hours. Yeah, which something I wish Marvel would really kind of fix, man. And a lot of these, like the last, let me see, Guardians is like 2.5 hours. This one is the longest animated movie in the series, which luckily though it didn't feel like it.
It blew by.
But it is a 2 hour and 40-minute movie. What was the other one? Ant-Man, I think, was actually kind of long too.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, all right, kind of like, tidying this shit up a little bit.
Erwin, we have one of our other Friday Nighters, Joe, who loves the Snyder Cut.
Oh.
He said he's watched it multiple times. I'm like, beginning to end, I'm like, I'm not sitting to the Snyder Cut a bunch of times. Like, that's a movie that I watched once in full, and then I'll be like, I'll watch parts, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm not sitting through that again. I'm like, and I don't have a super short attention span. I mean, I like TikTok like everybody else. Like, because I'll rewatch Braveheart, you know what I mean? But I'm like, what the fuck? Like 4 hours? Are you kidding me?
Hey, I guess I'm late, but hey, I did watch Pirate and You Across the Spider-Verse. I really liked it. Cool.
Identify yourself, Facebook user. We'd love to know who you are.
Was the quality good? Because I feel like you really need to watch this movie with really good quality, because that's one of the things that blew me away in this movie.
He was supposed to be here tonight, right? My 9-year-old nephew, he's turning 10, was going to come and actually be a guest. He actually asked, could I come on the show? He's asked us a couple of times, but our topics weren't something he didn't know about. So he knew about this, so he asked to come on. And I asked Adam, I said, Double A, can we have, my nephew on? He's like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, have him on. That'd be a different perspective, right? We would have had an actual kid here. What did you think of it? You know what I mean? And we went to see it our second time. We saw it our first time together. We saw it our second time. Hey, what's up, Corey? We appreciate you being here, man. Corey really wanted to get in on the Guardians conversation, but unfortunately, that was last week.
Okay.
But so I wanted to take my nephew to see it in IMAX, so we went and saw it in downtown San Antonio. Never go to that IMAX. That IMAX sucks.
Yes, it does. The seats are super fucking tight,
and
then
old.
it's just weird. The setup's like weird. It's like if you're seeing like a concert or something.
Yeah.
It didn't feel comfortable at all.
And if you want to have the experience of sitting in like an old theater seat with like the metal bottom and like wood armrests, go there.
Which
but
I'm
if you
like,
don't
wow,
want
this
that,
is, like,
never
I was
go
like,
there.
this is the IMAX. Like, this is what everyone like always talks about. I'm like,
I felt ashamed that was my nephew's first IMAX experience. I will never take him to that IMAX again, whatever. However, he did like the big screen, and I will say that the movie was still enjoyable because it's such a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
But at one point, he leans over to me and he says, "I feel like you could pause this movie at any point, and you could make a poster out of what was on the screen." And I was like, "What a great fucking quote!" I was like, "Yes, you could.
I love
yes,
this
you
too,
could."
because it seemed like the art changed for like
Each
some of the main
character,
characters. Gwen
right?
had this like weird Sienkiewicz kind of like New Mutants art.
Yeah.
that was kind of like
Yes.
painted. When he had like 2099, man, it looked super sharp when it was
Modern.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
There were some other ones that
Miles is kind of like with like this, like the graffiti type,
yes,
like it's just like feels very urban.
like it looked really great. Like I was like blown away by it.
Absolutely.
That IMAX is for educational videos.
That IMAX should be burned to the ground.
that
dude.
IMAX sucks.
I was like, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I
when
did
you tell
it.
me there, I saw The Last Jedi there, and man, that experience was just terrible.
I literally had an armrest next to me. Number one, it's that piece of shit, like piece of wood arm.
Yeah.
It was broken off, and the screws were just sticking up.
Jeez.
So I couldn't even rest my right arm. I was like, well, fuck, you know what I mean? I mean, like, again, guys, not all theaters, like, I just feel bad because that's in our downtown. I'm like, people come and go to that.
That's like
they're trying to show Alamo the price of freedom there. I'm like, don't.
Yeah.
That's not a representation of us. Don't go to that theater.
Facebook user says, "Yeah, I hate that I missed last week. I'm not gonna
Corey.
lie, I was really disappointed with the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
Really?
You know what I mean? Not big on emo movies, emotional movies, I guess maybe. Corey, like I said last week, I think it was more a Rocket origin story, which I'm kind of like, wow, this is gonna be the end of Guardians. I'm kind of surprised they went this route. You would have thought that would have been a part 2,
right?
Not really a part 3 send off.
Yeah,
you know.
That makes me wonder, could you have closed with the ego story? That might have been
You could have, honestly,
because then you're kind of dragging out the origin of Quill a little bit that they dropped nuggets on. Interesting. But Corey, don't all movies have an aspect of emo now? I feel like, I don't know. I'm just curious.
Back to the Spider-Verse though. he looked better. He looked older, right? They drew him a lot older now.
Yeah,
you know?
more big.
Yeah.
New costume.
That costume
right?
is sweet.
Yeah, very
That was
sweet
a
costume.
sweet costume.
Yeah.
They always go all out for Spider-Man, man. You know.
Did you like how it started with Gwen?
Yes.
I
Yes,
loved
did.
that.
Yeah.
I was like, I love that because I
But
have.
there's so much of it, Sam, that I really don't know because that's when I stopped my comics. So when they started introducing all these, like they said, the Vulture was from
Oh, I don't know.
man, that Vulture was from a series of Spider-Man.
But here's the thing for me, right? And if you guys ever look at any old episodes or whatever, you know what I mean. But I say this is like I like that the mediums are separate. I don't need to know the comic books because I like the characters already. So it's like a lot of my knowledge comes from like the '90s animated Spider-Man show.
Yes,
the
which
'90s.
that actually helps a lot because of that cartoon from the 90s, I knew who the Prowler was and I knew who Spot was, the Spot. So, and I was like, okay, cool. They're actually using these characters for these movies, which I think is actually probably perfect that they introduced Prowler and the Spot for these two.
Yeah, and the Spot was one of the characters that my nephew really enjoyed. He was like, oh, I thought that
He
was,
could be cool. Like the whole fucking like the look kind of sucks, but I mean,
Well, I love what Miles tells me. He's like, so are you a cow or a Dalmatian? You know what I mean? Oh, shit. I forgot to put the spoilers thing, guys. Sorry, guys. If you didn't know, this is going to be a spoiler-laden episode. Kind of late, right? Spoiler-laden episode review of Across the Spider-Verse. My bad, y'all. So here it comes. There it is. I normally try to do this for anyone watching along because I know I fucking hate spoilers. So, and I feel like half the time I'm not even getting a spoiler. What I'm getting is people reading like quote unquote leaked news.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, that shit's not real until it happens. You know what I mean? So, but go ahead. We're talking about the Gwen opening.
Yeah, the Gwen opening,
got-
which was really good. It was really action packed. I don't know. What'd you think? What'd you think of how the Vulture looked? I mean, because that's
Yeah,
from
it was cool.
That's from the comic. Apparently, one of them. I don't know where, but
Yeah.
it's where he was like back,
Yeah.
like a centuries old. Vulture. Because if you saw the wings, they were like very.
He looked like Da Vinci-esque,
Yes, there we
right?
go.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I thought it was cool. I mean, I expected to see a lot of shit that I didn't know because I was like, oh, this is going to be like deep in the spider lore, and it's like there is some stuff that I just know I just didn't read or whatever. But again, too, I thought it was really cool that it started with Gwen and a Gwen story. Again, she's a character that I haven't read any of her stuff, so all my knowledge of her origin is coming from these movies, but just her look I cannot get enough of. You know what I mean? I was like, I think she looks great, the costume is great, I love
It's
the
a
way
very
she moves
unique
like a
costume.
dancer. Yeah, do you notice how she kind of moves almost like a ballerina in some of her movements? I picked up this cover from again, if you guys are watching us on Spotify or YouTube or Facebook, whatever, please take a look because you can see some of the visuals here. I picked up this cover because number one, I just love the way that J. Scott Campbell draws any woman, but especially Gwen. He does a great job there. I picked this up solely for the cover alone. I've never looked in this book. I don't even know what the hell's in there, but I was just like, dang.
It says
what a babe.
she was created obviously from the Ditko Stan Lee, but I guess this version was created by Jason Latour and Robbie Rodriguez.
Okay.
And she comes out. I guess Spider-Gwen Volume 1, her own series. So, yeah. So I mean,
And what about the classic thing, right? Double A. Nobody's ever dead, right? It's like everyone loved Gwen Stacy. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Gwen
she
Stacy's
was a
Peter
great
Parker's
character.
first love.
Yeah, she was a great character.
Of course, we get her oddly in the Toby movies. We get her at the end, right? In the third movie,
Yeah, with Bryce Dallas Howard,
who looked great, an amazing.
Yeah, she looked
Gwen.
great. Yeah.
But had they have done it correctly, she should have been first or whatever.
Yeah, which that's probably the reason why I love the Andrew Garfield ones is because she's a love interest played by Emma Stone.
Right.
And man, that's just great. I told CM that's probably the best romantic version of Peter Parker
I agree.
with
I
anyone.
agree.
I mean,
that's Peter's best romance movie wise
Yeah.
is that one.
Yeah.
Because I think we both agree we don't really care for Tom Holland's with the Zendaya
they barely started getting comfortable in the third one.
Right, and you're almost too you're kind of unsure, you're like, well, is this MJ or what's going on?
Yeah, and her
whatever.
name's what something Jones. I forget, Michelle Jones. I think, or
right.
something.
So you're like, okay, what's going on here? You know?
Jeremy, cool. See you later.
Oh, yeah, no, that's good, Jeremy. Good
And then Absolute Irwin says, only Uncle Ben stays dead. Yeah, and they seem to really emphasize that in this movie. Is like, damn, all the Uncle Bens have to fucking die.
Maybe that's like a Stan Lee
except,
thing. Like,
except for Tom Holland. I guess he never had an Uncle Ben in No Way Home. You know?
I mean, yeah, or God forbid.
It's Aunt May that's the one that turned into, the Spider-Man.
God forbid Uncle Ben comes back as like the summer soldier or something like that.
Man, summer soldier. Shit.
We've already got.
Damn.
I was like, remember Bucky was supposed to stay dead?
Yes.
And I was like, Bucky's back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know, even
Jason
Craven.
Todd. Jason Todd's back.
Even
It's
Craven's come back, I think, now. Which I'm like, no. You ruin their deaths. You know what I mean? Like,
cheapening it.
Yeah.
Cheapening it. Okay, so cool. We start with the Gwen part, you know what I mean? And that's fun. I loved it. Captain Stacy alive, obviously. When they talk about that.
It's like everything's backwards for her version
right
of Spider-Man.
Right.
It's Peter that dies.
Yes.
And it's...
What'd you think about that? How about that? He was the lizard.
Yeah,
anyway, what about that?
He drank it. He drank the fucking potion so he can make himself stronger, right?
Yeah, and
That's
did you
what it
catch
was,
who
right?
his bully was? Ned. She's
Yes.
like, back off,
Hobgoblin.
Ned. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yes.
that's dark. Like, that
Yeah.
makes you feel, like, sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, okay, I have a question. And I have a question for all of you, the soon-to-be Friday Nighters, the soon-to-be Friday Night Faithful. Those of you joining us from other venues. Is there a Miles Morales in every universe?
No.
Because wouldn't there be a Miles in her universe?
No.
No?
Remember what 2099 said, right?
What did he say?
He's an anomaly. He's not even supposed to be Spider-Man.
Well, right. But wouldn't he exist normally? Like, when he went to that other
Sure,
world,
he would exist, but he would never be Spider-Man anywhere in any kind of case.
But she could look him up and, like, find him on Facebook.
But he would be
like
so
that.
different, I would imagine. He
Just
wouldn't-
like a normal guy?
He wouldn't be that Miles that she knows.
That's true. Because, again, the experiences you have kind of make you into who you are or whatever.
Yeah.
But what I mean is that, like, how Gwen Stacy exists across many, different versions of the multiverse and the different
Some dead,
worlds.
some alive.
right. And Peter, obviously, we see many Peter Parkers or
Many
whatever. You
Peter
know what I mean? Like,
Parkers,
it's
yeah.
like, well, so then by that theory, doesn't everyone exist across? Again, spoiler alert, but when we get to the end of this movie or whatever, it's like, Miles runs into, Miles, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay. Gwen never runs into any other Gwens because they're all dead. You know what I mean? Like, I think for the most part or whatever,
I would say so, yeah. I would say that her universe is weird that it's not her that's dead.
Right, right. I mean, she's a singled out one. And again, guys, too, one of the things we do on our show, too, is we don't take it necessarily, like, pace by pace through, like, every part of the movie, whatever. We more or less talk about, like, our favorite parts, the things we liked, sometimes the things we didn't like, you know what I mean? And so that's how we, like, tend to approach it or whatever. So if there's any aspects or points or parts of the movie that you want to talk about or discuss, that's what we like to talk about, too. Because these are I'm always having questions in my mind. Like, I literally we have an episode where I'm talking about The Walking Dead with Double A, and I'm like, if vultures eat the dead, why aren't, like, vultures, like, all just fat and, like, all over the Walking Dead world or whatever? And eventually, too, don't you just, like, once they've rotted all the way out, like, shouldn't there be, like, less zombies? Because they've eaten most of the people, and there's more zombies than people now, so haven't they just rotted away? That's my whole zombie spiel or whatever. But go ahead.
Facebook user says, Feige said he was going to change some stories from Sony and Foxverse. Every X-Men is going to be different coming up. However, I'm hearing Deadpool 3 is going to have a lot of Fox X-Men. You can't just erase that kind of history that Fox built. A lot of people are used to Halle Berry as Storm or Patrick Stewart as Xavier.
Yeah. Hell, even James McAvoy at this point, I think, has made
I would say so too.
Pretty indelible mark as Xavier or whatever.
Sorry, Professor X, Wolverine. Now I'm hearing Cyclops. Yeah, I heard James Marsden might be coming back.
Nice
as Cyclops. So
who is tracking our beers? I switched to Rolling Rock now, whatever. So I'm making my way through a collection of what was left in my fridge over the week. So, but yeah, okay. So after that, Double A, we get that great intro, whatever. Again, I am a huge fan
which all
of
the other Spider-Mans come in. Jessica Drew.
Jessica Drew shows up, and it's a different Jessica Drew than we know, whatever.
Yes.
She's an African-American Jessica Drew, and she's pregnant. So that's like, I was like, okay. I love that part where Gwen's like, will you adopt me? You know what I mean? Like, it's great part. And then we see Miguel O'Hara. Now, there's a character that we both know, Double A. It's a character.
I mean, it's kind of another character I think that has a little resurgence in popularity. A 90s kind of character that would, I don't know, they had a line of 2099 series. It was him, it was the Hulk, it was Doctor Doom, and
Punisher, Ravage, who was like a new character.
Okay, so it was a line, and I just remember it coming and going. I don't remember it staying very long.
I remember being into it when it was the first 4, which was Doom. It wasn't Doctor, it was just Doom. It was Doom, Spider-Man 2099, Doom 2099, Punisher 2099, and then Ravage 2099. Later on, they did Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider 2099.
Okay, yes, that's right.
But I remember they had these hollow foil covers, and I was like into it or whatever. Your brothers gave me shit. They were like, those characters are whack.
Of course, and that's why I'm telling you, like I had to kind of find my own way after a while.
But I thought Miguel was neat or whatever, and in the comics.
It's a really cool kind of like look.
Yeah.
Like this is supposed to be his first everything.
And they show that. They show that they actually, when he does the kind of classic thing that we get from Into the Spider-Verse back here in the Cross Spider-Verse, okay, let's go this one more time. And they show the comic book land down. I love that. I love that because it blends the worlds, right? Of the comic book world and the movie watching world, what we're doing right there, you know what I mean? So what does it say over there?
Okay, Chris says, what I'm getting from these multiverse movies, those Fox X-Men are from a different multiverse.
Okay.
Yeah, which I was
okay.
I'm sure Days of Future Past is, not going to be in every continuing.
Right. Right.
X1 says, did anyone here they are considering getting rid of the name X-Men since it's not gender inclusive?
Wow. I had not.
Oh my goodness. So man,
that would be something, right?
We're just talking about the Punisher being wiped out. Now maybe the X-Men might be wiped out. Come
X
on.
people.
Jeez.
I like it. It's kind of cool. I don't know.
And I like how they showed the incursion that Spider-Man 2099 did when he took the spot of his dead self, like Doctor Strange did in Multiverse of Madness. That was cool how they keep that the same. Yeah, it was kind of crazy when he was like, "Oh, this one's dead. Let me fill that role."
But I mean, damn, could you do that? Where it's like, well, again, I imagine you're pretty emotionally damaged at that point where you're like, I just want my kid back. Like, that story was fucking sad. Is that from the comics? I don't remember that being from the comics.
I'm not too sure, honestly.
I was like, hey, and then what was that one part where, like, he has the one guy and he fucking, like, rears back like he's gonna bite him.
Yeah.
And I was like, and she even Gwen's like, oh, he's like a vampire type, whatever. And I was like,
because I know his origin. Well, I know his origin's a little different, and he didn't get bit by a spider. I think they were trying to find, like, almost like the super soldier program. He injects himself with some shit, but I don't know if it lasts. Like, even when he, the claws.
Yeah.
Where Miles was like, are you sure you're a Spider-Man? Like,
right. And I remember that in the comic book being freaky when I first read that, like, issue 1, because his is like these little hooks that come out of his fingertips.
Yeah.
And that's how he grips on shit,
Which I know his suit was always kind of more, I guess, the tech suit.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah.
So.
But I remember there's like one issue where like he swipes at someone with those fingertips and like he cuts him and you're like, oh fuck, like this guy's like way more like violent. And he did kind of have a little bit of like
I think he always was a different. In the 90s, I mean, they were always trying to get more aggressive. Yeah. I would say what the word would be for the 90s characters.
In the words of Cena, ruthless aggression.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, so interesting.
We got 2099 and Ben Reilly for this one, so maybe on the third movie they will give us Kane.
Ooh, nice.
I mean, give us everyone.
The failed clone, right?
I mean, give us everyone. Give us, you have the ability now to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Do it.
Totally. Well, right there, Double A. Ben Reilly gets brought up, right? What did you think?
I was really disappointed in his portrayal.
How they did it, right?
I've always loved the suit, the Scarlet Spider suit.
Love that suit.
But I was like, why are they making him like that for?
Right.
I don't understand. Was it a fuck you to the clone saga?
Well, because people hated the clone. Some people said they hated the clone saga.
That's what I'm saying.
But what about the art? They drew him great.
He looked great.
He looked amazing. I was like, damn, I was like, can I get a whole movie that looks like that?
Yeah, he looked great. But I just didn't like because he was supposed to be a badass.
It reminded me of the Spawn cartoon art from HBO.
Oh, man.
Where it was like a lot of dark shadows. Yeah. And I was like, damn, he looks badass. And the voice is Andy Samberg.
Yes.
Which I mean, that's fine. That's fine. You know what I mean?
It's like when I saw Deadpool 2 and they made Shatterstar the way they did, I was like, wow, like Shatterstar was such a badass character and he's like a fucking joke here in Deadpool.
I mean, I think there's definitely some fuck yous in there or whatever. You know what I thought? I was like, oh, they're kind of making it like a shot at Batman a little bit, like, oh, I'm brooding right now.
Yeah, but
I'm thinking about everything that happened.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Good.
Corey says, no, it's stupid. Look at all the companies taking losses, but of this feminine movement.
Oh, dang. We're going there,
he's saying like the X-Men.
About the X people?
Yeah. Which, again...
X-persons.
No, but, you already have such a long history. That's a 60-year, franchise. Come on now. Don't change it all of a sudden.
I mean, not even that, but I'm like,
because,
what the
again,
fuck
your core...
Is Dupe even a man or
But, I mean,
a
your
woman?
core audience is 200,000 people that buy the comics. Yeah. Maybe if it's 200,000.
Yeah.
Okay? So, you're not getting $1 billion people... you're not getting $1 billion sales in the comics.
Sure. Do you think the Cleveland Indians this is getting off track, guys, but again, it wouldn't be a podcast if it didn't derail. Do you think AA, the Cleveland Indians and the Washington Redskins lost money on their names changing?
Sure.
I mean, because again, it's like
because now you gotta get rid of all that merch, and now you gotta put this in now.
I feel like there's a point where it has to be like, well, the name itself has taken on another meaning in this sports world versus what the context of it is or whatever. But again, I'm not the one, maybe that bothers or whatever. So how can I say so? You know what I mean? Go ahead.
I think the original is a little gene splicers with animals, and that's what happened to this. Don't know exactly what animal was it. Probably a spider. Yeah, I think so.
With regarding Miguel's origin.
Spider-Man 29.
Hey, Joe's in the house. Joe, we appreciate you being here, brother. Joe, we're rocking and rolling tonight.
Okay.
Wow, that's a little harsh, but okay. Yeah.
Corey, this is for you. Joe says that if you comment on the Just Another Friday Night page, your name should come up.
Thank you, Joe, for that info. And Joe, you missed a very exciting opening 30 minutes. Again, we're teaming tonight with the folks from Collecting Weekly. We're streaming on their YouTube page. We're streaming on their Facebook page in addition to our own. And we invite you guys to give us a like, follow, and share or whatever. Joe is one of our frequent contributors on Friday Night Conversations, whatever, in addition to having his own podcast called Now Watch This, where they watch movies. So if you guys like to watch stuff, they definitely watch stuff on there. And Joe, did you watch Across the Spider-Verse? Did you watch it with family? Did you watch it by yourself? Did you take your boys? How did you ingest the movie? If you have yet, let me know. Erwin says,
I think Scarlet Spider-Man was used to represent the era of comics. I think 90s is good for nostalgia, but for a good read, it's definitely a little rough. Oh yeah, and that goes for, I want to say, just about everyone during that time period.
Like they just things just didn't age well. You think AA is that?
Yeah, because I think they were trying too much new stuff in the 90s. It's the 90s. It's different. Well,
also too, like what we've heard Rob Liefeld say, whereas like once they broke off, it was almost like the other two felt like they had to catch up.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, like now we've got to go like be
Extreme.
edgy and be this way, right? Yeah, I mean, because I would say Spawn was edgy,
Oh, Spawn was great. That's like one of the few times
you're talking about hell. You're talking about angels. You're talking about all that stuff.
No, that was
murder.
That was
you know what I mean?
But no, he's right. Like when it comes to like the Ben Reilly, I mean, man, that period is just not really fondly remembered whatsoever.
Although the costume was fucking great. I love the Scarlet Spider to look. I remember wanting that figure so bad. Like I was like, oh man, I gotta get me a Scarlet Spider.
It's always cool. Badass, man, like the Spider-Man outfits they do. It's just the characters that are in them that people really don't shine to.
Go ahead. For some reason, because they keep the iconic things about Spider-Man that still like he can kind of look badass almost any way. You know what I mean?
Joe says, watch it with my daughter and wife. They loved it.
Nice. Good to hear.
Chris says they need to keep the politics out of comics and movies.
Agree.
They are forcing it, and look what happened in Disney excluding Guardians of the Galaxy. I liked it. Yeah, they're listening too much to fans that are just there for the movies.
Or not even fans, but just people that have something. They have a gripe. They want to bitch about something. Yeah. It's like, hey man, this is
all of a sudden people is like, why don't we have a female Spider-Man? It's like, really? Like Spider-Man's been around for 60 years.
Right.
Now you're just saying something now,
Yeah, does everything need to be like...
Or Punisher's too extreme. Oh, really? Because he's been around since the 70s. And
why don't we have a male... There's no... Oh, we do have Wonder Man, but he's Marvel. Yeah. I was like, we don't have Wonder Woman, but not Wonder Man. It's just fucking whatever. You know what I mean? I feel like this is the stuff that we use to escape the day-to-day bullshit.
But all these people they're listening to aren't your comic book audience. You know what I mean? These aren't the people that are going every Wednesday to get new comic books.
Exactly.
You know, and yeah.
And not only that, but for a long time, comic book fans were kind of like, you know what I mean, quote unquote, in the closet or whatever, because we were like, you know, comic book fans and people that were shunned or whatever. You know what I mean? It was like, not everybody did that. Not everybody read comics.
And the people that leave the theater still aren't going to read comics.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and again,
my wife loves the movies, but she's not going to read a fucking comic.
Right. My girlfriend loves the movies. She won't even go as far as to be like, she's never like, let's put on Guardians or whatever. If I'm watching it, she'll watch it because she remembers she liked it. But she's never like, let's binge
my
Guardians.
Daughter and son, they've seen them too, but they're not like, hey, I want to start reading Spider-Man.
Yeah. Oh no. My girlfriend loved Across the Spider-Verse. She was that was badass.
No, but you know what I mean. They love it, but they're not going to want to like scroll through the back issues. Right. You know what I mean?
But when you're like, hey, the new one came out, they're like, oh yeah, I want to go because that's fucking awesome.
So you need remember your core audience is always going to be the comic book people.
Don't alienate your audiences.
My new phone is glitchy. Don't know why name not showing up anymore. Not getting notification when it starts. Hey, Corey, I guess Joe said that if you go to our Facebook page, it'll show your name.
Yeah, or try YouTube, man. YouTube works pretty good.
Look what happened to Budweiser and Target.
Yeah.
Exactly, dude. These people complaining aren't even the ones supporting. No, they're not. They're not supporting this at all. You know? So,
and I mean, like for me, I want it all. Like when Spider-Gwen, like I said, she came out. I saw the look. I was like, damn, I love it or whatever. Those are twists. You know that, right?
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Shit.
Just saying. Well.
If anyone knows, this is my Green Lantern beer opener.
Love that. Ooh, right when you got right there to the mic, it came in really clear.
Oh, nice. The Indian Spider-Man.
My nephew loved him. Puppeteer.
You know, his costume was actually pretty fucking cool.
I thought he looked cool. I loved, and that's his voice is the guy that was in Obi-Wan.
Yes.
And he's also in the Eternals.
Yes.
So, I mean, the cast is great, right? Haley Steinfeld is Gwen. She's already also Hawkeye now. I mean,
you're getting multiple, like Oscar Isaac. Playing Apocalypse, playing Moon Knight, and now playing Spider-Man 2099. And if you wanted to do a movie, I would say cast him too.
Yeah, I mean, I think Oscar Isaac was badass. You know? I mean, he was amazing. I mean, like, apparently what we're hearing...
Just his voice. It gave off the intensity of the character a lot. Like, the way he did it, I was like, damn, you feel like this dude just hates doing this stuff, you know?
Yeah. I love when Peter B. Parker tells him, he's like, you're not funny. We're all supposed to be funny. You're the only one not funny.
But it's Miguel. It's not even Peter. That's the thing. That's what's funny was that he kept calling Miles an anomaly, but I was like, man, he's kind of one too. And the fact that his Spider-Man costume doesn't really look Spider-Man, you know, compared to everyone else. And then his name is Miguel O'Hara.
Right.
And I'm like, he got his powers from a serum he created.
Yeah. Like, are there other Miguel O'Haras across?
That's what I'm saying. So it's kind of like, you know, so.
Double A, what did you think about...
Well, I said, Joe, like, if they're doing, like, a Miguel like they did in Across the Universe, because there he looked kind of old. Like, he kind of looked like he was already, like, in his... What would you say? See him like 30s? Up there 30s,
I would
maybe?
say that, yeah.
Like, he either that or he was just like, all this shit that's happening to him is just really
it's aging him, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you know, I think Oscar was cool. Okay, let's talk about we're talking about that part. We're already there, right?
Well, just, you know, just the way he...
What did you think about Donald Glover? As Prowler. This is like, I think, a direct nod to the Tom Holland. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Homecoming and those because
no, they said it was.
Yeah, he's you know, Uncle Aaron there, and so it's like, oh shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's fucking awesome or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, we're seeing him. He's sitting there. He's in the Prowler costume. They're including live action into this animated. I mean, it was. I don't think it was fan service. It just felt like it fit.
You know what? I really don't care if it was fan service or not, honestly. Mm-hmm. I loved it. You know, I loved how they put everything. I mean, they even showed footage of Toby. They showed footage of Andrew Garfield.
Yes.
They showed footage of Tom Holland.
Yes.
They showed footage of Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was...
The game versus like Spider-Man. I love the game.
It. You have all of this. Don't be like DC and say, no, you can't use this. Use it all. That's why it's all there for. That's why you've been doing Spider-Man since 2002.
Exactly.
To do all this, so now you have all that footage. Now you can make this multiverse movie really, really good.
And what do we always say, Double A? I'm like, it's like they're afraid of blowing their proverbial load too soon because they're like, well, we want to wait for the sequel. We're not going to give you Darkseid right now. We'll give you Steppenwolf for the Justice League. I'm like, no.
That was a bad move on their part.
Nope. Like, blow your load. Like, go for it. You might not get to fuck again. This might be your only time to fucking
that was a bad move on their part.
So bone away, bone the audience. I'm like, you're cheating us, because look what happened with that first Justice League. It sucked. It sucked. And I was like, this
And
is
we're talking about
badass.
we're talking about the Joss Whedon version.
Joss Whedon. Yeah.
Same as AA fan service or not, it was good.
It was great. It didn't feel fan servicey. It felt great.
I mean, like, man, this is all part of the history. This is what they do. The Spider-Man animated series in the 90s had that episode, remember? Where all the other versions of Spider-Man
I've been seeing that clip coming up a lot lately. Yeah, with the metal Spider-Man, the armor Spider-Man, and the 6-arm Spider-Man.
Yes.
And dude, what happened with our group, the Friday Night Faithful group? It blew up with everyone just like, I could practically read their posts and see the smiles. You know, Nas, Alfred, you know, posting, man, did you see the spider popsicle? You know what I mean? The old 80s game, Atari
I think
game.
one of the louder pops that I heard in my theater was when the 60s Spider-Man cartoon came. When it was just like stiff. When it was just like...
yeah. And then I didn't realize just how much people geeked for that animated one.
Yes.
The
Spectacular Spider-Man?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Where he's kind of, you know, I was like, oh, I recognize the animation.
Yes.
You know.
I was really hoping for that 90s Spider-Man. I really was hoping they were going to bring him in.
I think we're going to see him eventually.
I was hoping.
At this point, I feel like nothing is off limits.
Corey says, Disney using a lot of actors in crossover movies. Hearing Adam Driver is going to play Mr. Fantastic. Yeah.
That's what we keep hearing too. Yeah, which could be cool. You know what I mean? It could be cool. I think I'd be for it. You know what I mean? So I'm more curious about the other three. Who are you gonna get for the other three? So,
yeah, I am too. I really am.
Yeah.
And Doctor Doom.
Definitely. That's the big one.
That's the big one. Anyone can play Reed.
You got to get Doctor Doom right. You got to get Doctor Doom right. He deserves all the respect. But yeah, so them being there was cool. I mean, literally, like, what I loved about this 2AA is I felt like I saw it twice. Like, you have to keep seeing it because there's so much things you can miss. Like, literally, I was so glad to be in that IMAX theater.
Man, yeah,
I was like looking around.
I can't wait to buy it and pause it to see all the other ones. I mean, it's just there were so many. You know, I was like, shit. Like I was like, I wonder if the Spider-Man, the man Spider-Man is there.
Right.
You know, like that'd be fucking crazy to see the fucking like spider.
Yes.
Like just talking with everyone, like, ooh, that'd be.
I know that was definitely.
Or even Spider's Man, you know, if they're ever gonna show that one, you know, where it's all the spiders in the Spider-Man outfit, you know.
Now I know you know a lot of the lore AA. So like, what about when they were showing the villains? Like, who was there anyone in there that you saw in particular? Besides, obviously we saw Prowler, the Donald Glover one, but was there anyone else that like stuck out to you? I know they showed. The like, I guess it was like Atari version of that like robot that you fight like in that like crappy graphic. That was cool, but I wasn't sure there was. I was like again looking, and I saw it twice.
I can't really remember to be. Top of my head, I can't remember.
I thought there might have been something that stuck out.
I'm sure there was, but I can't really remember. Joe says Roman Reigns should play Doom.
Wow, Joe, that's intense.
Absolutely. Irwin says, imagine getting a symbiote suit Spidey, but the catch is that it's Kraven. Yeah, you know, I actually thought of that, Irwin. I was like, man, wouldn't that be so cool if they had one where it's Kraven in the black suit?
That's
no one has touched Kraven's Last Hunt yet, and they really need to get ready for that one if they're going to do that one, because I think that's Spider-Man's darkest story. And it's really mental health, you know. Yeah. That's the way J.M. DeMatteis told us on Twitter, was that it's kind of, it was a close look at mental health, and he says a lot of people missed the point, you know, of that, what he was showing, because he got a lot of hate mail when they actually let him do the suicide scene, you know, where, you know, the shotgun to the mouth, you know. So but I mean, man, you gotta have a good Spider-Man. Me and Tim had talked about this. I don't see Tom Holland being the Spider-Man for that Spider-Man story. I mean, you got to have an old, grizzled Spider-Man for...
I think Andy Garfield could pull it off.
I think he could now.
Yeah, dude, he was so good in No Way Home.
But then Toby would be really good, too, in that role.
He'd be good, too. I mean, he'd be good, too.
But yeah, I thought of that, too. I was like, man, that'd be cool if they showed Kraven.
Erwin, go check out our episode, because this man's favorite comic book story is Kraven's Last Hunt, and we have a great episode about our favorite comic book stories, like a single story or whatever, and our episode got me to read that story, and I was like, damn, this shit is like it's deep and it's dark, man.
It's really dark. I'm really surprised they let him do that kind of Spider-Man story.
And we talked back and forth about like how they could do it. We were like, man, it's got to be 3. You got to do 3 parts. You got to like build up this older, grizzled Spider-Man, and then you got to have this happen. And we know we're getting that movie, right? We're gonna get the Kraven movie with
which I'm sure they're gonna make him an anti-hero. So you're not gonna hate him.
That's not
just like they did
work.
with Morbius,
That's
just like they
not
did
gonna
with
work.
Venom.
You gotta make it
they're all
in the
anti-heroes.
style of Joker, where
Exactly,
it's like,
where he's just a villain.
Well, even then, I mean, like there are aspects of it where you kind of feel sympathetic for him
But
because
see,
you're like,
supposed to hate these rogue galleries. You're
Right.
supposed to not like these guys. You're not supposed to fucking sympathize with them.
They're the good guy, but they made the wrong choices. They kept making the wrong choices.
Which, if you read the comics, they make these choices because they want.
Oh yeah, they were already selfish.
Craven
people,
comes
yeah.
to America to hunt Spider-Man. Like that's his whole thing. You know?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, and then when he fails, he just keeps going and going and going, trying
Right.
to kill him.
Yeah, like all of them. Well, like we said too, like we mentioned earlier, he's not a villain per se because he kills bad people. But Frank decided he's like, I'm going to pull the trigger all the time, and it's like he's like, Frank could be wrong. You know what I mean? It's like but
Or
it
Venom.
doesn't matter.
When Venom first came out,
Oh,
he
yeah.
had such intense hatred for Peter. All he can do was think about just killing him.
Mm-hmm.
And in the in the movies, he's like this fucking protector of San Francisco. It's
Right,
like, come on, man.
right. Yeah, it's
Like this ain't the
too-
Venom I want to go up against Peter.
No. Now I will say that, Doubly, right? Like these Into the Spider-Verse and this Across Spider-Verse, they've yet to touch on that, like the whole symbiote world, which is very Spider-Man lore.
Yeah,
and they've touched about
Again,
everything
like you're
else.
saying, maybe they're saving it because
I think
I
so.
thought for sure we were going to see a black suit Spider-Man.
I mean, that's like,
and that hasn't came out.
and it
yet.
almost feels like they're holding it off, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, because we saw a lot of cool shit in this one. Now, Doubly, let me ask you something, because this was my thought, and I wanted to bring this up with everyone that was watching tonight. Go ahead, read that comment.
Irwin says late 80s was pushing the boundaries for comics, gave way to great 90s styles too, and the Vertical imprint.
Love Vertigo.
Vertical was always such a great line. I don't know why DC got rid of it.
Yeah.
That was probably DC's golden goose.
I think so.
For Sandman, for Preacher, I think Hitman was on.
I think,
Or no.
maybe, I don't know,
Well,
but either way,
it's
there's
just Garth Ennis wrote
great
it, so-
stuff though there in Vertigo. I remember. Well, definitely, like you said, the big two probably there, Sandman and Preacher.
But yeah,
or
like
whatever, for
Watchmen.
sure.
I mean, Watchmen is just that pushed comics to the edge on that one.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
I'm a huge Preacher fan, Irwin. So I love the Vertigo imprint for sure.
Oh, and Fables. Fables.
Fables?
Was on there. Love Fables.
Real quick though, I want to ask you something. So, okay, we get Miguel there. Miguel there has Miles there, and they talk to him about what's going to happen. He gets this vision, and he sees that his dad's going to die. He's like,
Yeah.
fuck it, I'll go
Yeah.
back. Fuck being Spider-Man. And I get it, right? Any one of us would have done that, right? What did you think about at the point where he pretty much he bests all of these versions of Spider-Man? He even says it. He tells me, he goes, I just lured hundreds of Spider people away from your lair.
Maybe
or
it's
whatever.
because he's not Peter that he was able to do that. Like Peter's thinking probably what Peter would do.
But is it a slight to all this to the original?
Because the Peter
B
B found him right away. So I mean,
Yes.
it's just
And he's also like, but I did agree with him a little bit with Miles when he's telling him, he's like, so what? We just let it happen? Like this it? Like, don't you think that's the opposite of what we're supposed to do? I was kind of like, damn, he's kind of right. Like,
I mean, I thought his moment was his uncle dying. And then they it's like, okay, they gave him the Peter
there's two
Parker,
moments.
but they gave him the Peter Parker stuff, but then they gave him the Gwen Stacy stuff too, where like his dad dies when he becomes captain. I was
Right.
like, wow, okay, well.
But see, then again, I was thinking about it, and I was like, there's more moments in that because, like, number one, Peter doesn't have his parents to begin with, so he's already in strife. Then he loses his uncle, who's like his father figure,
which I thought was the moment.
Yeah, that further pushes Peter Parker that we all know. Then he loses Gwen, his first love. Then it's like, okay, so like it's now
you
you
can never
like,
see because she's part of another fucking universe.
right. But what I mean is like the standard like 1960s Spider-Man that we know. Like it's like this guy consistently deals with like bad shit happening to him,
it's
like
bad.
over and over.
It's
and
real
so
bad.
I'm like, people they were like, oh, there's these what do they call them? What moments or like, canon moments? And I was like,
because if not, it unravels the universe.
yeah, I'm like, Miles has his folks. Yes, I guess is destined to lose one or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I was kind of just like, the original one's got a lot of bad shit. There's more moments that are,
Gwen dying,
you
Captain
know,
Stacy dying.
yeah, that it's Captain Stacy and then he loses Gwen.
Yeah.
And in that great moment with the original, and it's cool how they showed that, right? The Captain Stacy pushing the kid out of the way.
Yeah.
That imagery from who drew that one? Double A. That's
That one might have been
Ramita.
maybe.
Great.
Because I think Ditko was gone by that point.
Yeah, but I mean I remember before. I mean, don't. Do you even own those comics?
No.
Yeah.
No, those are hard.
But those stories,
those are hard even back in 2000.
Yeah, I always remember. I'm like, why do you change it? Because that story is so perfect and beautiful. The part where Captain Stacy is like, Peter, blah blah, this and that, and you're like, fuck, he knew. He knew. You know what I mean? And they kind of did it a little bit with this in the beginning with Gwen's, where he calls her Gwen, and she's like, what? Like, oh, he knew. Peter knew. But I mean, I was just remember thinking, I was like, this is great writing. Here's the dad, the sacrifice he knew,
I guess
and then they made Gwen hate him, right? Gwen and in the comic books, Gwen was like, I hate Peter Parker or Spider-Man. He killed my dad or whatever.
Yes.
And then Peter's torn because he's like, well, I'm dating you, and I'm him. I'm leading this fucking double life. I was like, everything they've done in all the movies and even these movies has not compared to how rich that story is, which is like, fuck, man, like that's fucking
Amy,
hard.
we can see you, Amy. Awesome.
What's up, sis? We appreciate you being here. Dang, yeah, you got that great picture of it.
Erwin says Amazing Spider-Man 90,
ASM 90, yeah.
and the death of Stacy's arc.
And they call it that. They're like, oh, she's from World ASM 90 or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
That was really cool. Like right on the nose. I love that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's so many cool stuff. I mean, like I said, the art looked amazing. The story was amazing. I don't know why. Well, maybe it's because it's animated that the writing, I think, sometimes is better because you got a full roster of shit you can put instead of a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this would be impossible to cast that many people to play Spider-Man. I mean,
not only that,
even if you didn't just cast it extras just to put on the suit,
right?
You know,
and what do we always say too? It's like, I guess there's something in actors' contracts where it's like, well, he needs his face on the screen.
Like they said, that's what happened with Stallone with Judge Dredd.
Oh, really?
That, they wanted to show his face, and like in the comics, Judge Dredd never shows his face.
Yeah. Even in my day, Double A, like I remember thinking about like looking at our day. I feel like watching the Tobey Spider-Mans. I was like, he doesn't have the mask on a lot. Like he's like,
yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe studios at that time were still kind of like, well, we're going ahead with this comic book movie, but let's try and deal with Tobey's face.
But I'm also thinking, he wasn't a marketable actor. Like Spider-Man is selling that movie, not Tobey Maguire.
But again, the studios are probably at that time like, let's, we got to prove. Let's just see how it does.
It's like Dean said earlier. It's like the nostalgia factor is what sells that, because it's not like anybody was like, oh, I'm gonna go watch all Tobey's movies now. Whatever. You're like, okay, I don't think I've seen any other Andrew Garfield movies except Amazing Spider-Man.
I don't know. I like Amazing Spider-Man. Did a great job of it. Garfield was so freaking good. That first one is really good.
Oh, I love
Part 2
it.
kind of missed the mark.
Yeah. But you get the Gwen Stacy death in that.
That was hard.
Which again,
hard.
As comic book fans,
and she does such a good job of making you love her.
Oh yeah.
That when it does happen, you're just like,
yeah,
you're like, fuck.
So that's the thing, right? Double A, you've got.
I don't know if we feel that way if Kirsten Dunst would have died as Mary Jane in the movie.
I wish the Green Goblin would have killed Kirsten Dunst.
Not Kirsten Dunst.
Her Mary Jane. Yes.
Okay. Her Mary Jane.
All the respect in the world to Kirsten Dunst. I love her in Interview with the Vampire. But yeah, her Mary Jane could get axed by the Green Goblin. Let Willem Dafoe get that kill. I think he deserves that kill.
Which I thought it was. It was the bridge.
Yeah.
Remember the first one? I was like, oh shit, they're going
We're
to
right there.
Stacy.
Yeah. I was like, dang, can you imagine how that would have fucking shocked the shit out of fans, though?
Yeah, I think
that
so.
would have been like, oh, fuck. Then you introduce Bryce Dallas Howard. Then you like...
Oh, wow. A reverse. And it's not the way to remove the mask.
Right. I agree.
Chuck, you're wrong. Toby was a good guy. But what was he in, Joe, before that? Like, seriously, what was he in? Cider House Rules?
Yeah.
Right?
I don't watch it.
I guess that was his breakout. I mean...
I can't think of any other Tobey Maguire movies that I would...
Like, that is kind of a surprising pick that they got for Spider-Man, right?
Which probably was the right choice, because you go with a no-name.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But I'm like... I don't fucking... I'm not watching the Tobey catalog. I'm not celebrating Tobey Maguire's catalog of movies.
Erwin says Dredd never removes the helmet. I think he's the only character that also ages in real time since being published. Yes, he does age, which I think was a really cool aspect of it.
And you're a huge fan of the Carl Urban one, right?
Oh man, I love the Carl Urban.
See,
I went to the theater. You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Shit.
I think you loaned it to me, and I didn't get around to watching it because I'm a dumb.
Damn.
I'm a shitty cousin. I'm a shitty co-host. Sorry, double A.
Damn.
But I will watch it. Damn it, so we can talk about
Cider
it.
House Rules is a great movie, Joe said.
Joe's-
Charlize looks amazing in it.
Joe's saying that the Cider House rules. It rules. You know?
Charlize is pretty damn hot in that movie.
Fuck, I don't know. What's the plot of that movie? Somebody help me out.
He's gonna be a doctor without getting the license. But instead he goes to this house to pick apples and a whole bunch of shit. And then Paul Rudd's in there, and Paul Rudd and Charlize are supposed to be fiance, and him and Charlize start fucking. So.
This is the clip of the show everyone's going to pick up and be like, they talked about the Cider House.
Dean Martin says, Dredd sequel, please.
Yeah.
Which Carl Urban has said he's all for it.
It seems like Carl Urban liked it. Carl Urban likes being a fucking, like, a badass, man.
Jimmy Tobey was the first good actor that they used to play superhero. Before that, it was always like ex-athletes.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay. I mean, that Japanese Spider-Man is pretty solid, I mean, in my opinion, but...
Oh, shit.
Again, Double A, I saw it twice, you know.
Would you like if they put the Spider-Man, the TV show, live action show in there?
Yeah, I would. I'm like,
Why
they've
not,
done,
right?
they've brought everything
what was
else.
It? I forgot. Yeah, like
outside the wrist.
Yeah, I forgot what.
You know what? I thought the look was kind of like Stark. At the time I was like, oh, he looks kind of like her. He could be a little bit more fit, but you know, I was like, all right, it's good. But you're okay, Double A, with you said, with Miles kind of beating out the rest of the Spider-Man. I was like,
I'm fine with it. Yeah, I'm fine.
At first I was kind of like, wow, that's bold. Like, you're making him like excel past. And I think this is kind of what maybe prevented Jerry D from like being into it.
Because this is his movies, though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Although I did like, because it's called Into the Spider-Verse. It's
Like-
called, Across Spider-Verse. I like that they are putting focus on Gwen too. I love their interactions. I love the interactions with him and his mom. I love when she lets him go and be with her, and the music, the soundtrack is fantastic.
I don't know. I mean, they all seem to always play different too. I mean, it's, like Toby kind of seemed like the fighter of the Spider-Man.
Okay.
Andrew Garfield seemed to be the scientific one.
Okay.
And then
what do you get with Tom?
Holland's kind of like the one that just annoys you with the talking.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm not saying that that's the way Spider-Man is supposed to be. In
you
comics.
need that. Yeah.
He's annoying. That's what pisses the villains off.
Yeah.
And they're like, shut up.
Yeah. It's hard to get all those things into one or whatever. You know what I mean? So I always felt like some of the snarkiness of Spider-Man was missing from some of the Spider-Man.
Yeah,
movies.
which I was like, okay,
So,
they got that in Tom Holland one.
Yeah.
Joe says, I liked watching Spider-Man at the Alamo Draft House. And they played foreign Spider-Man clips before the movie.
Nice. Very nice. For me, it was fantastic. Though I said, man, and I
What did you think of the scene where they were like, Peter Parker, or look for, what is he saying? Look for Spider-Man.
Oh, right. They're all pointing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. But I will say this. After my first time seeing it, I thought this. I was like, it was great, but it wasn't better than part one.
I liked it so much better than part one.
And this is why I say that. Because of the ending. Because I was like, cliffhanger. Like, that makes it, to me, that makes it mean like the story's not over.
Actually, you saved me from probably not, from like being pissed off.
All the
when
credits?
he told me it was part one.
Oh.
He had to tell me, because I never saw that on any of the thing. It just said Across the Universe. I never saw where it said part one.
But here's the thing that bothered me, Double A. You're calling it Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, but then Part 2 is called Beyond the Spider-Verse? Wouldn't it be Across Spider-Verse Part 2? That doesn't make sense. Like, it can't be both.
I don't know.
So
I guess they're trying to do like
what
the
do you
homes.
guys all think? Huh?
I guess they're doing like all the homes, Far From Home, No Way Home.
Yeah, I know, but
Homecoming.
don't call it Part 1 and Part 2. Just be like, I mean, like, this movie ends on such an obvious
what if it's gonna
cliffhanger.
go beyond the Spider-Verse because of the spot where they're going with
right.
Spot.
But I like when something stands alone. You can watch Part 1 by itself, and it's gorgeous. But, no, go ahead. We're going to read Joe's comment?
No, that was old.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I feel like this one is really, really great, but I know that because how it ends, it needs that other
I
part.
think the writing was tighter on this one. I think the art. I mean, I'm serious.
I love
The
more
art-
Gwen. I love more Gwen.
The art
Yeah.
blew me away.
Oh no,
in this
no,
movie.
it's
I mean,
it's beautiful
it
to
felt
look
like
at.
I was like sometimes looking at a comic book.
I'm telling you,
I
my
love
nephew's
that.
comment burned in my brain when he was like, "You could pause this movie at any moment and make a poster." And
Yeah.
I was like, I just cannot get over that. I was like, that is such a great statement about this movie because it really is like that.
Dean says the original posters had part 1. I think they changed their mind and took it off the promotional material. Ah, okay.
I heard that. I had heard some of that.
I
too,
never
yeah.
saw anything where it said part 1.
Well, remember I showed you that I had showed you the international trailer had also
Yes.
showed like they kind of cut the other movies into whatever. Let me show you guys something real quick. I'm gonna take my headset off. But I'm gonna show you guys this. We had brought to show you, but we didn't get everything set up. So yeah,
Here's like 2 really great posters of the first movie and the second movie, which was an AMC giveaway, right? The second one.
yes. Obviously, we know this one. You guys all know this one right here, right? So
Into
that's
the
that one.
Spider-Verse.
The Into the Spider-Verse right there, right? I mean, this is
Alright.
like you can get it at Walmart, right? Like $4 or $5, whatever. But yes, so I went and I made it on time. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this poster is actually a little bit taller than this frame.
Ah, okay.
But I had
okay.
and I had to trim the top to get it in the frame
Okay.
or whatever. But whose art is this?
Bill Sienkiewicz,
Which is
he's done
Stellar. Look at
work
that right
on
here.
New
Look at that
Mutants. He's done a lot of cover work. He does a lot of painting,
yeah.
which I thought they took a lot from him, his style.
And I got my
Yeah.
nephew one too. But when I told my nephew I had to trim it, he goes, "No, I don't want you to cut
Yeah,
mine. Buy me
I
a
wouldn't
bigger,
either.
buy me a
I
bigger,
wouldn't
buy me a bigger
either.
frame."
I wouldn't either.
You know, for me, what do we always say, right, Joe? It's like for us. I'm not gonna sell it. I'm not gonna. It's for me.
Chris says the prediction for the third movie is that the Spot can time travel or find a way to, and the Spider-Man from Miles' world comes back in a way. Canoes back in a way.
Okay, interesting. I could see it.
You know,
There's a lot going on.
Somebody looked. Erwin says, "Sweet poster. Yep, Sienkiewicz. Love his work. I love
Yes.
it. His work was just all over this fucking movie, and I loved it. I've always just dug his work. Like even when they show the Spot at the end, when he looks all weird and he's all black, I was like, wow, that looks like his
Yeah.
New Mutants work.
You were sending me images,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, damn, that's crazy." And me and my nephew talked about that after the second time because we were like, "Yeah, the Spot was kind of comical, but by the end, you're kind of like,
No, it
oh,
was-
he's kind of
like
scary."
his powers, which they really do a good job in the animated series too.
Mm-hmm.
In the animated series, his fucking portals get out of hand, where at the end it's gonna suck up New York.
Oh shit!
You know, and Spider-Man has to work. I forget with who to
Reed?
end it. No, Reed doesn't come out there, but they find a way to close the portals.
Damn, send me those episodes so I can watch those
Yeah,
on Disney.
it's at the
They're on
animated-
Disney, right?
Yeah, it's on the animated series.
I mean,
And I remember thinking, I was like, man, this guy's kind of like has a pretty cool kind of power.
Yeah.
You know, I was like,
yeah, especially with
100% get caught on the spot. Oh.
who you found out you had his first
Yeah,
appearance,
I
right?
found out his first appearance.
This
It's
guy was
in-
texting me so
it's in
much.
this one.
I got tilted. There you go. Yeah, he's texting me so much. He's like, "Dude, this." So I knew you really loved this one better, which is great because I mean, I loved it. I wanted to see it twice. I wanted to see it twice.
Yeah.
But all of you guys out there still watching, what were your favorite parts? Was there things about it that you really loved, or maybe things that you didn't like, or what? You know, like I said, I felt a little bit some kind of way when I was like, really Miles outsmarted like all these spider people. Like I'm like, they're, come on, like they're not. I mean, Pete's building his own web shooters. I mean, like he's a smart guy. You know what I mean? Like when Peter B. Parker tells him, most of us wouldn't be here without Uncle Ben. You know what I mean? I was kind of like, yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like,
Erwin says the spot showing some OG Demon Bear vibes on that final part.
yeah, for sure.
I'm telling you, that New Mutants work, just even if the writing's not that great, Sienkiewicz's art just
Oh no, the artist star.
blows
Yeah.
people
Warlock.
away.
He would draw Warlock, right? And he
Legion.
looked like
He did the Legion too.
Yes,
CM.
yeah.
I mean, man, it's just
that crazy imagery where it's almost like kind of like
or Moon Knight.
yeah.
Stuff he does on Moon Knight.
Yeah,
man.
like it's like I don't want to say psychedelic. The other word, I'm thinking of the other word that it's like where you kind of feel like it's surreal, or you're like,
Yes.
oh, it's like what
Yeah.
the fuck, like you feel like the madness of it.
And it's perfect. It
Yes.
works. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah.
He's still alive, though.
yes.
All
yeah,
right, cool.
Yeah, man, I would love.
You
to
haven't
meet
met
that
him,
dude.
right? I was gonna say, we gotta
love
meet
to
him,
meet
whatever.
that dude.
So, So yeah, it's a great story. It's got great pacing. Like you said, it's a little bit long, but it didn't feel long.
I
watched
feel
it
like
twice.
I was
didn't
actually
feel
kind of
long.
surprised, but that's the thing I'm saying though is that I wish it would kind of get tighter because it's kind of like, okay, when am I just gonna go back and kind of see it, or when am I ever gonna pop in the DVD and
We always
all
talk
right,
about that tight 90 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
I was like, shit,
yeah.
it's gonna be like almost 3 hours long. It's kind of like, ooh, shit,
So Double A, like you went with your kids, right?
Yeah,
they're not fans of this stuff.
no, but
how do
they loved Into the Spider-Verse, the first one, and they still remember,
rightfully so.
So I was kind of well, I mean, it was 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Like my daughter was like at that time like 7. And my son was like about 11. So
It's
I mean,
so
it's
crazy
like,
to think about.
So
right?
it's kind of like 5 years later, kind of like, and are they still going to be into it? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know, but they remembered, and they're like, when I asked them, I go, do you guys want to see the Spider-Man movie?
Yeah.
Both of them joked. They're like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they came out of the theater and like, they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, man, they were like, that was so good. Like, they were like blown away by it. They're like, that was such a great story. That was such a great movie.
Exactly.
I mean, they were just like, I hadn't seen them like this excited like in a while coming from the theater, you know? So I was like, damn.
Dude, that's how my nephew was, and he was like little at that time. And we also went with my girlfriend's kids or whatever, who I think her youngest at the time must have been like 15. He must have been. So they number one, like love the soundtrack. They love the
But
urban
you're thinking
feel.
maybe,
They
right?
love
Okay, 5 years later, they're a little bit older, maybe not really wanting to see it too
They're
much.
hyped. They were
you know?
so hyped. I just gave Jessica's youngest, Jeremy, I just gave him a poster not that long ago that my nephew at the time was going to get rid of. And then he was telling me recently, he was like, what happened on my Spider-Verse poster? I said, you were going to get rid of him. You were taking him down for other stuff. I saved that one. And then I said, the other one I gave it to Jeremy because you said you were going to get rid of it. We even bought Jeremy the CD. And I was like, and I go,
shit.
do you have something to play a CD on? And he goes, I can play it on my Xbox. I said, okay, because he was like, this soundtrack is so dope.
Man.
He loved it. They loved the urban vibe, the Jordans. You know, he's rocking Jordan shoes in the first one. You know, they play Biggie. You know what I mean? They play, the whole Brooklyn vibe. I mean, it's so fun. And again, I think they wrote that movie. They did what we say. They were not afraid to blow their proverbial load. They wrote that movie, and they were like, if we don't get another movie, this is a great movie.
If you're going to give us 3 movies and you're never going to put them in a live action, fine. We're just going to shoot, like you said, we're going to blow our whole load. Mm-hmm. We're not going to wait till prom.
And that's why Spider-Verse is good all by itself, Into the Spider-Verse. But because we get across Spider-Verse, you're like, yeah, like give us more. And there are lots to live up to. And they hit it out of the park.
Oh, man.
They hit it out of the park.
Chris has seen Peter B. Parker back, and when the chase scene happened, he was trying to help him and tell him that he helped him also, and sorry for not visiting him.
Yes. And the reason why, because they're learning that he's an anomaly.
Hey, Jake Johnson does a really good job of voicing that Peter Parker.
Yes, he does.
I'm a big fan of his work, and it just sounds comforting. You know what I mean? The way he comes off.
It's so funny because I was just rewatching. Have you seen Get Him to the Greek?
No.
Okay, if you get a chance, it's on HBO Max right now, or Max right now. It's on Max.
Max.
Watch it, Double. You'll think it's probably funny because it's about Jonah Hill plays like an A&R rep for a music company, and Diddy's in it too. I know. But it's funny because like Aziz Ansari comes out, Nick Kroll comes out, and Jake Johnson comes out too, whatever, and they're all like A&R reps for Diddy, whatever, and he's telling them, Jake Johnson's like, he's like, hey, y'all are always worried about landing the next big act. He's like, I do jazz, man. I don't go to work because jazz is so smooth. So they're in the meeting with Diddy, right? Who's like, of course, this like big, boss, and his phone starts ringing, right? And he's like, whose fucking phone is that? And he's like, they're not saying nothing, right? And they're all kind of looking at him, and then he's like, whose phone is it? He's like, it's my phone. He's like, throw that fucking phone out of my office. He's like, please let me do that. He's like, throw the phone out of my office. Throws the fucking phone. And they're just, dude, it's just so funny how he picks apart these guys. Like, it's just a hilarious movie. Pretty much about like your classic like artist that's like fucking like a drunk. And
I actually told your sister that she should watch the show that he's in that he did in the 2010s called New Girl.
Oh,
And
right. Yes. That's where he's
fucking hilarious in
dude,
that show.
That Prince episode is like iconic.
Yes.
Iconic. And I love Zooey Deschanel.
Yeah, me and my wife are blown away because she's a Prince fan. Kind of getting off track here. But she,
As a
apparently,
podcast does.
we had read that Prince was such a big fan of New Girl that he wanted to be on it.
Random,
so they were
right?
like, okay. So I told your sister she should check it out. It's on Hulu right now.
Yeah. Okay. I would like to check some out.
And
Too.
he's funny.
I love Zoe Deschanel. I think she's great in Yes Man. Like to me, she's the star. Like I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Jim Carrey's obviously fantastic,
Yeah.
but she is so like lovable. Also too in Elf. I mean, in Elf, she really like. Sometimes Will Ferrell can be kind of annoying. Whatever, but, she softens
But yeah,
it.
Jake Johnson does a really good job voice
Yes.
acting. Like we're always saying, voice acting, really counts.
Mm-hmm.
We always say Keith David
Oh, yeah.
voiceover for
Great.
Spawn
Great.
was a great choice.
Yeah.
I forget his name. The one who does Chapel too in that Spawn cartoon does a good job.
We always
It's
talk
like-
about Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor.
Lex
You know what I
Luthor.
mean? Like, I'm like, dang,
or,
man, what a good.
or even Oscar Isaac doing, Miguel. Man,
Yeah.
you can feel the intensity
Yes.
of Miguel through
Yes.
his voice acting. Like he does it right. You know what I mean? So
And at first they're telling, at first they're kind of joking about him, like, oh, we know it's slow coming down or whatever, and then, his intensity, whatever, he's like, that's a dumb name. And then he's like, yeah, I guess that's kind of dumb too, whatever. It's like kind of tongue in cheeky at first, but then as it gets more intense, to the
he's
point,
great.
to the point where
Yes, man,
he starts saying, who do you think you are? And you're like, damn, like, he's like ramping up.
That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
You're getting kind of afraid of him again. Like, yeah, is this guy the bad guy?
That's
Like,
what I'm saying. Because
fucking,
I'm pretty sure he's looking at the screen, and to, really give that expression in his voice and that tone, to do the right kind of tone in your voice. You know what I mean? Because you're trying to put your words in this animated character. I mean,
Right.
man, it's just, I would imagine that's got to be kind of hard.
Oh yeah,
You know?
I definitely think so.
Yeah.
Whatever. So he did an amazing job.
He did.
As did, like I said, Haley Steinfeld. Obviously, Shamik Moore, who does
Yeah.
Miles. I mean, they're great.
Which he is in Dallas this weekend.
Is that right?
Yep.
Nice. Dang.
Yep.
What do you get? Oh, I gotta take a poster.
Yeah,
I'm taking a poster.
Yeah,
I'm taking the Bill one.
Oh, the Bill Sienkiewicz?
The Bill Sienkiewicz one. Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm gonna get signed. Dan, they'll be like, "You trimmed the top off of this?" I'm like, I had to fit it in the fucking frame, man. I was like, "Come on."
He's gonna be buy a bigger frame.
I'm telling you, right? Like my nephew, he's like, I don't care if there's room around it. I'll just give me a bigger frame. But
One of the other things I got really excited about was they introduced Mayday Parker, which I was like, wow.
so
finally.
tell me about that, because I did not know about this character.
So in the 90s, they had got pregnant, but for whatever reason, they axed it. They nicked it. She was
Is this the
stillborn.
one more day thing where they went back?
No.
Okay,
no.
okay.
No, I don't even think that was canon in that one either. She was born stillborn, so she dies. But there was a what if issue, that what if the child of Peter Parker lived.
Damn, that's grim.
That
you
was-
see how this guy keeps they keep fucking Peter,
exactly.
my
he loses
man.
a child too. But the what if got so popular, Sam. People love that issue that the man was there, and she ended up having a series that lasted like over 100 issues.
No shit.
Yes,
I had
And
no
so
clue about
she was
this.
like a fan favorite. It's like Mayday Parker. That was her name.
Very
And
cool.
So yeah. So
and the daughter of Peter and Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it was finally cool that we got an introduction to Mayday Parker, which can only happen in a movie like this.
Yeah. Yeah, very well. See, I mean, that right there alone makes it cool. I loved her knitted Spider-Man hat too. That was like
That was
really cool. What about in Old Man Logan? We get a version of a Spider-Man daughter as well, right? Don't we? Because
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
Who
but
does she have it with?
but she kind of has a bad attitude.
she becomes like
straight up bad.
Kingpin, I think.
Yeah, she wants to kill the.
I forgot who he has a kid with, because in that Old Man Logan, she's like African American, I believe.
Right, definitely mixed. you
Yeah.
know? So you're like, who's the mom
Yeah.
or whatever?
And then
so.
they even show like Earth X Peter too. I don't know if you caught a glimpse, but there's one where he's dressed like a police officer.
Yeah,
with,
'cause
like,
that
a
was
big
the
stomach.
story, right? Yeah.
That was Earth X. Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. See, so I mean, like these movies are kind of like we said, they're blowing their proverbial load. They're going all out. Like we're gonna give you everything.
Which
you know
I'm
what I mean?
like, do it. Go ahead. You have this platform
Mm-hmm.
to do it on, because the live actions are never going to come close to what you're seeing here.
No,
never.
you can't give us that.
It's
can't
too
give us that.
hard. It'd be too hard to do that. Here, you can do that. You can draw a whole bunch of Spider-Mans everywhere. you can do that real easy.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. And then you got people probably from multiple sources bringing you like, what about the game one? What about the 80s game one? What about this? What about the 90s cartoon? What about the other 90s cartoon? What about
even
the early
had
2000s
that
cartoon?
2000 Spider-Man animated one too. Yeah.
All right, Dolly. So, like moving us forward, kind of progressing through.
Storm was the mob? Oh.
No shit. Really? Damn.
Yes, live action can never do that. Yeah.
Pete and Storm hooking up?
Oh.
All right. I like it. You know what I mean? The way she's drawn in that Old Man Logan, which is gorgeous. Who draws Old Man Logan, Dolly? I forget.
You give it to me right here.
David
McNiven.
McNiven. It's McNiven, right? Yeah. Not David. It's Dave. I think it's Dale. Steve. Well, those aren't close, but there you go.
Steve McNiven.
I had a few drinks. Sorry. I always thought Rihanna would play a good version of her the way she looked. I mean,
really?
That art in Old Man Logan is gorgeous.
Oh yeah, McNiven fucking killed this art.
Yeah, and she looks like they draw her like a real fox. Look at it right there. Wouldn't Rihanna kill that? I mean,
so Hawkeye and Spider-Man's daughter had this daughter.
Damn.
That's right. That's what it was.
Wait.
Ex-wife number 3. I'll never tell you about this one. She's Peter Parker's youngest daughter. Really great sense of humor.
Youngest daughter. So
Yeah.
implying he has other daughters.
Well, this is Peter's daughter. Her.
Oh, so that's Peter's granddaughter.
Yeah.
In Old Man Logan.
But Hawkeye.
Who's a babe?
This is
Hawkeye? So Hawkeye hooked up with Peter's wife?
No, Hawkeye hooked
That's
up with
fucked up.
Peter's daughter, who then gave birth to a daughter. Which, man, that's weird.
Damn.
You would think he would be super old.
Yeah, there we go. Erwin was like Steve McNiven. Thank you, Erwin. Sorry. Alcohol is in play. You say Rihanna, but made a face at Roman Reigns. Come on, Joe. Roman Reigns as Dr. Doom. Hey, you should be happy.
Hey,
You're getting
Joe-
Seth Rollins as.
Joe acknowledges Roman.
Who's Seth Rollins gonna play? King Cobra.
Some shit like that.
Man, I hope that fucking Sam Wilson just beats the shit out of him real quick in like the first 5-10 minutes and gets him out of there. Seth has been on a real. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Seth has more elaborate costumes than his wife Becky Lynch, which was like.
Well, he's trying to get over more than she is.
No, that'll never happen. Man.
You know what? When it was
there we go.
When it was Tyler Black, there was no one hotter than that dude. Sorry.
And
That
guy can
Tyler
wrestle.
Black went off.
Hey, you can still look up on YouTube that flip he does. He does that kick flip off the fat guy, which is
Yeah,
like
that's right.
I was like,
That's
that's
right.
incredible. No one's gonna top that or whatever. So he needs to get back to that and stop
Forget
wearing.
it.
You're not the new Ric Flair, dude.
No, never gonna be.
Just relax, okay?
Never.
All right, Double A. So Miles escapes, kind of.
Yeah, because he's like, this is bullshit. He's like, why am I gonna let my dad die?
Yeah.
That's not gonna make me a better Spider-Man. He's
Oh,
like, our whole
he's-
point of us being Spider-Man is to save people. How the hell are we, doing
You mean
this?
he's not gonna be like Zack Snyder, Henry Cavill, Superman? That's just
Kevin
like,
Costner?
like this. I'd be like, fuck you, I have super speed. Like,
No
one's gonna
no
see
one's
me.
gonna see me.
And if they do, they're not gonna believe it because we're in a fucking tornado. I'm like, Zack Snyder, borrow a page from Donner and be like, and Puzo, and be like, he does something that he can't control. It just makes
even
more
in
sense.
Smallville, like, no one sees him because he moves so fast when he saves people. It's like, come on.
You don't have Jonathan Kent die of something that I can prevent. You have him die of something I can't prevent. It's really simple. It's meant to show the contrast of what Superman can and can't do. I'd be like, fuck you, Dad. You could be pissed off
I'm sure
at
if
me
it was
later.
Batman, I'm sure somehow Batman would have saved him.
Not even that, but later on when I was arguing with my dad, I'd be like, "Oh, what is the government here watching right now? Nobody's fucking watching, man." I'm like, I move like a blur.
That's what he's called in Smallville. Before he becomes Superman, the blur, because no one can fucking see him.
Man, what does Dean Cain say? You want to know how fast I am? You want to see how strong I am?
There you
I'm
go.
like,
Man, Dean Cain.
I'm like, fuck you, Dad.
Go back and watch that on Max.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
you know what? He's so good at being Superman that his parents are still alive.
That's
Shit.
the Kents live.
There
The
you
Kents
go.
live. So there's that.
So
But-
so Miles is like, fuck this. He does though kind of see what happens though when he does interfere with the canon event in Indian Spider-Man's.
Yes.
You know, Captain Stacy's supposed to die in there. He doesn't, and that universe starts kind of
collapsing.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what Miguel's trying to stop. He's like, whenever you stop these canon events, that universe is going to destroy itself.
Yeah.
It's like, it sucks. It's like, we don't want anyone to die, but it's got to happen.
Yeah, and even Peter B. Parker is pretty much on that, where it's like, it's got to happen.
It's got to happen. You're causing the fate of a whole universe to fall if you don't make this happen.
And I thought that it was crazy because, I mean, like, look, he even gives, Indian Spider-Man even gives, Miles a nod where he's like, man, thank you, because it's like my girlfriend's dad or whatever, you know what I mean? So you're kind of like, well, fuck, you know what I mean? But I guess if they don't experience that loss, then it doesn't really matter.
I've seen that in another spot, Sam, and I couldn't remember.
There was something about
There's another one where it says that you have to let it happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, where did they get this from?
I think it's a lot, though. It's like, Spock, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. You know what I mean? I was even thinking about the movie The Fountain.
Well, there's even an episode where it's called Sitting on the Edge of Forever on the original series, where if he lets the woman live, the Earth becomes kind of like a passive country where they get rid of all the weapons. It's right before Nazi Germany comes into power.
What?
It's called Star Trek.
Oh, Star Trek. Okay.
And apparently, when she does this, if she lives and she does this, Nazi Germany comes into power and takes over the world.
Fuck.
So in that episode, he has to stop McCoy from saving her.
Kirk.
And she gets run over by a car. So the moment's happening. And McCoy's about to go save her, and Kirk stops her, and she gets run over and killed. Yeah. And it's like, fuck.
That's the whole Back to the Future thing,
That's
right?
pretty fucking crazy, that episode. And that was from the 60s.
Damn, that's wild.
I was like,
well, right,
wow.
That's true, right? Because you often think that you're like, oh, I'm doing the right thing.
But in order for America to be ready for Nazi Germany, he had to let this woman die.
Right.
I was like, fuck.
But see, Miles was like he said, I'm going to do my own thing. He's like, I'm not fucking having it. He's like, Spider-Man can do both. You can always do both. And like, I get it. Like, it's like, we get it. We talked about this with when we talked about Green Lantern. We talked about this numerous times. Where we're like, what would you do?
Yep.
I'm like, there's no way that you're letting your kid fucking die. It's
Green
just
Lantern
not
turned
happening.
full on villain.
Yeah.
You
He's like, I'm just gonna go off the deep end. Like, and you're kind of like, I kind of get it.
Dean says, my biggest complaint of this movie is all Spider-Mans are okay with people dying without trying.
Yeah.
Indian Spider-Man says in the movie, I can save both.
Yes, he did say that. Yeah.
Only Miles is the one trying. Makes zero sense.
That's a very valid point, Dean. That's it. Like, oh, Miguel said, so we're like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, I have to see the world getting devoured. And I'm like, well, why does the world get devoured? Because he lived. I don't get it. Like, you need to play it out more. Like, that was a little bit, it did bug me, too.
I thought so, too. I was kind of like, man, this one Spider-Man event will cause the whole universe to collapse. I was like, fuck. That's...
Yeah. This is why we hated the whole shit with fucking Jonathan Kent in the fucking Snyder one. Man of Steel is, like, almost perfect except for that. You're like, no, fuck that. No. It's not happening. It's not happening. Anyone that's and again, Double A, I don't want to bring up, but you lost your dad. I know you would have done anything to save your dad. You'd be like, I would have done anything to save your dad. You know what I mean? Like anything. So it's like
I would have gone back and said, Dad, get your heart checked out.
Exactly. You know? Like it's like you're gonna do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like that to kind of call back to Frank Castle. It's like that's why he is the way he is, because he did not get that chance, and now he's gonna do everything it takes.
I don't know. Like the series kind of makes it sound like if he had that opportunity again, he would let him die.
Yeah, there is that. That's like the boring.
I don't know.
That's the great where it's like,
I don't know.
It's like, man, you want to keep
Castle
killing? You want war?
Yeah, he wants the never-ending war.
Yeah, it's like I want it.
It's like there's a great scene at the end of the Punisher season 1 where he's seen his wife. He's like, it gets close on dying, and she's like, you want to come home? Come home. And he's like, I am home. And, I was like, fuck. Like, he's like,
but you know what? Damn, that's fucking deep, because that's who Frank Castle is. That's what we don't get. I'm like, you don't admire him because like he's badass. You admire him because you're like, that's fucking tragic. Like I said, he's like Darth Vader. He's like Hannibal Lecter. He is darkness. Like this is what you don't want to be. I mean, but again, it doesn't change that it's intriguing. I hate to say it, double A, but it's the same thing we say. Like, we don't want to glorify like fucking Dahmer and all that, but look, these shows are out there already, man. Like, it's already glorified, man. Because you know what? It's interesting. Jack the Ripper. You want to know like why did that guy do that or whatever.
Yeah, but when he came, that's.
I know the saving grace of Frank is that it's like he's killing pieces of shit.
The bad
or whatever,
dudes.
You know what I mean? You know.
Chris says, what I don't understand is in the first Spider-Man movie, his uncle was his Uncle Ben. And now they are saying his dad also needs to die. That's what I was thinking too. As I'm saying, this is also that's what we kind of said too. Is like, oh, I thought his Uncle Ben moment was when his Uncle Aaron died.
Right.
Like it's kind of like, so you're giving him the Peter Parker and the Gwen Stacy like shit, like where his dad gets promoted captain, so he's got to die. So it's like, damn, he's Gwen Stacy too. Like that kind of fucking sucks.
You need both.
His uncle is dead. But now it's got like the dad too. It's like
and again, as much as I loved Gwen, that was the one thing that bothered me. Where he was like, Miles tells her, he's like, "What about your dad? Like your dad's a captain or whatever." Like she'd already lost her friend, that was her loss, but she had to get the second loss, which was like going to be the dad, and she was okay with it. I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Nah, I'm not okay with that shit."
Here comes Joe. Like Frank, but hates vigilante. Batman makes that make sense.
Okay, Joe. Batman doesn't commit. The Batman doesn't commit. He allowed. The first time that Frank Castle encounters the Joker, he's gonna get a fucking bullet in his brain.
Yeah. Joker wouldn't even. He'd be laughing and he'd pull out his gun and shoot his brain out.
Batman lets the Joker continue to murder endlessly over and over again. Damn it! And now we're gonna bring you to a special part of our show that we don't always do, but sometimes you get it because again, we are San Antonio's premier pop culture podcast on Friday night with pee breaks. So, Double A, take it away. I gotta go pee, and I'll be right back. Shit, I was doing good.
Yeah, you were. You were. 2 hours. You know. So I mean, obviously, every Spider-Man movie, I guess, is gonna have kind of, I don't know, weird shit. I mean, it doesn't make sense that the dad has to die. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I mean. He's not even like a Peter Parker, like they keep saying throughout the movie. He's not, you know, I mean, Miguel. I don't think, you know, I don't know. There's small things, you know, but I mean, is this gonna be? Is this? Well, yeah, it is canon because he showed the other Spider-Mans. I don't know. So I mean, there's some things that just don't make sense sometimes. But overall, though, I mean, just a really damn good movie. Now people are saying that this is the best Spider-Man. I don't know. I still always have the first Tobey one kind of has a soft spot. 90s Spider-Man cartoon no getting enough love. Yeah, I was saying CM Joe that I was hoping to see that Spider-Man. They showed the 60s Spider-Man. They showed Spectacular Spider-Man, Spider-Man Unlimited. I think even the video game Spider-Man, and I thought they were going to bring in the 90s Spider-Man, and they didn't. I was kind of surprised. I thought they were going to go full-blown on that one. Yeah, I mean, same here. Most of the, like, I knew Prowler and the Spot from that 90s era. That's how I knew about them. They really never showed Prowler anywhere else besides that Spider-Man cartoon. And this one now, which I thought picking those two villains were really good for the animated movies. I don't know if Prowler would do really well in a live action. The Spot, I don't know if he would do good in a live action movie, honestly. But they work really, really well for these movies, the Into the Spider-Verse movies. I thought they worked really well. So I'm glad they kind of pulled those two. Whoever made these movies must have been a fan of the 90s cartoon and probably were like, let's do the Spot and Prowler. Maybe Marvel too. Maybe they were giving them shit too. If they want to use someone else, maybe they were like, all right, we're just going to go with these two. Joe says, like, Batman the Animated Series gets all the love it deserves, but I never hear that love for the 90s cartoon. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I thought X-Men and Spider-Man and Batman, back to back were just really good cartoons. So I don't know why those don't get enough credit.
Which ones are we talking about?
like Joe was saying that the '90s cartoon, he doesn't think that one gets enough love as like one of the best cartoons.
The Spider-Man one?
Yeah, because you really don't hear about the '90s cartoon too much.
I always tell people,
that's the cartoon I was saying to Joe, that these guys must have been fans of that show, because to pick the Prowler and the Spot to be your two villains, was like, shit, these guys must have been big fans of that 90s.
It's just like when we talk about the animated series of Batman or whatever, we're like, I mean, that is like the foundation. And I didn't realize how closely and how much those pulled from the books. Mm-hmm. I don't think I knew about the Six-Armed Spider-Man till the Spider-Man cartoon. It means that's what informed me about that.
Yeah. Erwin says, I was waiting for the Japanese Spider-Man and his mech. Hoping on the third one we get him. I'm sure they will.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure we're going to get way more.
My nephew loves the clips of that Spider-Man so much that we bought the figures of that. We ordered the Japanese Spider-Man figures.
Joe says that cartoon had X-Men and Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did. Daredevil.
Spider-Man,
we always talk about that. Daredevil. Spider-Man had
Morbius.
It had a lot.
Spider-Man had a lot of good crossovers.
It was really, really cool.
That X-Men crossover was really exciting. I remember me and my brother were like super excited when they announced the X-Men were crossing over with Spider-Man. We were like, wow.
I remember thinking to myself, I was like, I mean, they're all up in New York, right? So you're like, why aren't they meeting each other? I remember when I saw the animation, it was like a little bit different, and I was like, oh, damn, it kind of looks different or whatever. But it still was very, very dope. I wanted to say double A, whatever. Thank you all. I mean, you never seen that on the podcast live before. A grown man goes takes a piss during the middle. Was that okay? So again, the movie was 2:20. I think 2:20, right? 2 hours 20 minutes.
I think it was 40.
Oh, 2:40. Okay.
Yeah. Because they're saying it's the longest animated movie ever.
I still feel like we talked about it really like in 3 big chunks or whatever, and like we went through it kind of fast or whatever, right? And again, this is the thing, when you hear a review from me and Double A, we talk about like the parts that we liked or didn't like, or the important things that stuck out to us. But there's so much on the table still. Yes, there's spoilers in this, but there's so much to go back and watch it for. There's so much worth going to go see it for, whether it's a show, a movie, whatever we talk about, because we miss a lot because we're so hyped to talk about the things that we really like stuck out to us. But go back and look at those things, because you're like, I mean, literally, there's so many moments and conversations that happen in this movie, with Gwen and Miles, that I'm just like, oh, it's so beautiful. The music, again, I just keep coming back to that because it's so perfect. I mean, like Miles and his mom, they just like, you have to see it. Yes, we're spoiling like some of the things that happen in some of the big moments, but it's 100% worth seeing for yourself to make your own, assertion.
The Battle World arc was awesome in the Spider-Man show. Yeah, it was. Yeah. The Secret Wars.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And Erwin says Joe Perry did the intro for the Spider-Man animated show.
Is that right? Yeah. Damn, I didn't know that. Man,
that's all Joe Perry playing.
Dude.
Yeah.
Wow. Dude, love Joe Perry. It's like I said, like we've already kind of talked about the whole movie pretty quick or whatever, but
I mean, and again, seems like, right, we're not going, we're not going, inch by inch, minute by minute, but I mean, It was really damn good movie. Like I don't know, maybe going in with no expectations made me like this movie a lot. Like I
love that you came out of it. Like I don't think I realized that. Like for you, the first one was just kind of like, it's good, but
let's talk a little bit about the first one since we're gonna get there. I mean, introducing Miles, getting bit, which we find out is from another universe. That Spider 42.
Yeah, that comes. That's like, oh, I didn't know that. Like that's like they're. Like there's foresight, right? Where you see, like, they were already thinking about this. We're going to do, but again, they also masked it away. We're like, if this is all we get out of this, we're good with that.
Kingpin being the villain.
Great. Vanessa and that whole, again, I know you don't like when we make them sympathetic, but you're kind of like, damn, okay, well, he had good reasoning or whatever,
and then I know there was, that version of Spider-Man, and I know he was voiced by someone, remember, because he had blonde hair.
Yeah. You know who it is?
Who?
It's Chris Pine.
There you go.
Chris Pine.
There you go.
Yeah, and I remember that too. I was like, in my first thought when I saw the blonde hair, I was like, is this like a Ben Reilly?
I thought it was Ben Reilly, yeah.
But I mean, I was like, dang, the fact that he had been Spider-Man for 10 years, Aunt May was like in on it. Like, I was like, damn, this is so smart. I loved it. I was like, this is so smart. You know what I mean? Like it's just great. Whatever. You know, he's very confident at being a Spider. He loves being Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, this is real fucking cool or whatever. You know what I mean?
It was, and like I said, Prowler coming in, him being the uncle, him working for Kingpin. You know,
Prowler is Uncle Aaron is Mahershala Ali.
Yes,
the voice,
yes. Which again is like
Marvel
his
alumni.
third role.
Yeah,
His third role in a Marvel show. So yeah, I mean,
even who else from Part One? I'm trying to think. Is also we were just saying Marvel alumni, but
Dean says that Spider-Man 2099 theme based on the animated show theme.
is that what it is?
Nice.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense then. Yeah. My nephew kept being like, I really like his music when Spider-Man 2099 comes out. That's so funny. Again, he's 9, so it's like for him, like I love to see things like through his eyes because it's like, oh, he's
It's different.
watching it like
It really is
it's
different.
There's no basis for anything.
Yeah.
It's just like it either is or it isn't. You know what I mean? And I've said this before, but me and him played the Fortnite game together, and like they brought Miles into the game. They
Nice.
Gwen's been in the game, and then now they brought 2099 Spider-Man into the game too, which is like, damn, that's just pretty cool. Whatever. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean the uncle, you know, because he's such a big influence on Miles more so than the
Right.
dad.
Yes.
You know, and they have this great kind of subway station where they just go and just do their art. And when you find out your uncle is like this ruthless kind of like enforcer
Yeah.
for this mobster, you
Yeah.
know, it's like fuck, like
And like fully decked out costume, like the Prowler. I have to say, I never gave 2 shits about the Prowler,
No,
but I was
not
like,
too much,
that made the Prowler
Not too much,
badass.
yeah.
I was like, you know what I mean?
But he has a good episode too in the 90s episode. He has a good one too.
And is his story related
Fortnite.
in any how like that?
Spider-Man reforms him. I know that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But here he's just full on villain, I think,
Okay.
So,
Okay, so
You
it
know.
wasn't always like the Aaron Davis thing, or was it like there was more to him
well,
than that? Or not?
it's Hobie.
Oh,
Hobie
that's
Brown.
right. That's right. Talk about that a little bit. Okay, we haven't even touched on Spider-Punk. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, what did you think? Did you like that?
Like, I was kind of, like, I had forgot that was his name because they mentioned it in the 90s cartoon. But, like, they're saying that Hobie Brown, the original Prowler, is Spider-Punk in this universe. And I was kind of like, wow, that's a big change for the character.
Yeah.
For him to go to the Prowler to Spider-Man, Spider-Punk.
And I hear people are loving this character too.
Yeah,
right?
people love that character
So
a lot.
I didn't know about Spider-Punk until I played the Spider-Man game on PS4. And there's a costume that you eventually get that's that one. And I was like, is this from something? Because I was like, I didn't know about no Spider-Punk.
Miles destined to follow his uncle. That's why he's a criminal in the other world, which I was kind of like, holy shit.
Yeah, that was like,
When they
damn.
did that, if he didn't become Spider-Man, would have just been recruited without. Yeah, I mean, he looked like it was already pretty rough.
Even when he says he's like our dad's gonna die, he's like your dad. Like I was like damn.
Yeah, I was like,
wow.
wow.
The way they drew him with the eyes, like the eyebrows low, the eyelids low, like nah, not me, you. Like I was like, oh, this guy's in. Like he's all in. And Uncle Aaron too with like the gray in the beard. I was like, damn, this shit is like dark, you know?
Yes, or when he goes, I love how menacing they showed Prowler in the first one and this one. Yes. Which I'm like, cool. You know,
Yes.
they can still make even his lesser rogue gallery kind of seem really good. You know,
Yeah.
so
And don't forget in part 1 and Into the Spider-Verse, it's like Kingpin's rolling around with Tombstone.
yeah.
And I remember I was telling
Tombstone.
I was telling
Yeah.
my nephew, I said, come on, this guy looks like a bad guy. Look, he's just walking around with this guy, Tombstone.
Yeah.
He looks,
Yeah.
what's wrong with him?
Tombstone's like white.
Yeah.
Like, white.
I mean, like, I was like,
And he has a good episode too.
yeah,
Where it
yes.
shows him and Robbie.
Okay.
Were good friends. Tombstone and Robbie.
Oh,
Robbie Robertson.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and that's like a really good one too.
And he comes out in the game, also the Spider-Man game, where everybody's like
Yes.
a leader of like a biker gang, but he still has the kind of like scary look. And I was like, damn, like Tombstone, you know, again, solid rogues gallery.
Yes.
Spider-Man. You can,
Even the
tweak.
B ones
Yeah.
can be really good. You know.
And we keep talking about the Marvel alums, like Catherine Hahn. Catherine Hahn
Yeah.
is Doc Ock.
Yeah.
She's the
Yeah,
female
that's
Doc
right.
Ock.
That's
know?
right.
So very cool. Very
Yeah,
cool.
I mean we got Gunslinger Spider-Man.
Yes.
We got what else do we get? The There was an animal one, not the pig one. There was
The
another
cat.
one. Yeah, the
The cat one that like sprays out of its mouth.
Lego Batman, or Lego Spider-Man. I'm sorry.
Spider-Man,
Where I just read that was done by a 14-year-old.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, and you know, we're laughing. Like, I remember me and my daughter were laughing when they introduced Lego Spider-Man because they're like, yeah, he's one of our best.
He's one of our
We're
best.
Like, what the
the
fuck?
Lego one. I didn't catch it the first time, but on my second viewing, because of course I had read a couple of things, because I like to read things in between viewings, because then I'm like, okay, what can I catch?
And then go
People
back.
were talking about the wheelchair bound Spider-Man or whatever. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, she was really cool. She's the one that's like,
Madam
hey,
Web?
I don't remember, but it's when she's chasing Miles. She's like, oh, I'm a big fan of Miles, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize she was in a wheelchair or whatever. But I mean, again, the diversity of Spider-Man. The whole point of the first one, you know, anybody can wear the mask.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, Stan Lee in that first one is like so iconic. I mean, like, I love that scene. You know, Miles buying the costume. You know, what if it doesn't fit? And he's like, eventually it does. I was like, I mean, I get choked up. I was like, that is so good. And again, that movie is written where that if there's never another Miles Morales movie, you can end it on Into the Spider-Man.
Which I didn't think there was, honestly, until the end credits.
Yeah.
You know, when they showed Miguel, and I was like,
Right.
oh wow, they're gonna do another one. But again, it was like 2018. I was like, you know, by now I was like, I already forgot about it.
Yeah, and how many have we seen fall flat though? It's like we've seen a lot of end credits and then nothing comes of it. Do we read this right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Good.
No, we didn't. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. All right. And guys, in case anybody doesn't know, whatever, we are a long. I should have said this at the beginning. We are a long format podcast where it's like we will talk until we feel like we've talked out the topic or whatever. But so there's no like set time or whatever. We try to keep it to 2 to 3 hours, whatever. But if you go back in our catalog, there are some 4-hour episodes, and there it is. Yeah. I purchased my dad made. You can pull it out of that one, the top plastic, or whatever. So yeah, my dad bought this for my nephew. I wasn't sure that it was, you know, and I was wrong. And I was
9.6
from our great friend Mario Delgado.
says here, first appearance of the new Spider-Man, Miles Morales, with the polybag removed. So,
do you remember even seeing that though? Like,
No.
like I don't even remember seeing that.
no, at this time,
And there's
2011 maybe.
There's-
that time, yeah, I was. No, I was already.
Yeah. There's reprints AA where it, you know, the character got popular, Miles. They drag it down, or you can see that it's Miles holding the mask.
okay,
it's the
okay.
same image, but it's lower.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I heard that even those go for a lot.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, you know, I mean, like, it's cool. We bought a graded copy. I mean, well, my dad bought a graded copy for my nephew, whatever. I caretake it, whatever. But AA was like, dude, bring it so we can, you know, show that here on the show for this
If Joe's
episode.
commenting, we going 4 hours.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Joe, for being here.
I mean, I don't think there's too much left to cover. I mean, the first one
No, yeah.
really set the pace. It had Kingpin on there, which was cool. It showed Miles becoming, you know, who he's going to be. I thought this one, Across the Spider-Verse, was really, really good. I thought he improved a lot, the way they did Miles on this one. Just having all the other Spider-Man. Again, seeing 2099 Spider-Man was just really, really fucking cool.
And then, like,
You
are
know?
they going to get that right? And then they do, where you're like, oh, they got it right. You know what I mean?
Manga Spidey is also a cool addition. Enjoying the show and also sub to your main channel.
Hey, thank you so much. I really
Nice.
appreciate it. Man, your comments
Thank you.
have been excellent, man. So thank you so much for all that you're contributing, because I can tell already right now you and AA, you're like on the same wavelength. So please, man, join us next week. We have a lot of stuff we're looking forward to covering this 2 months. Summer blockbusters are out.
A lot.
I think maybe sometimes we don't know what we're going to do next week. We're waiting on our Sunday to decide.
Yeah.
It's looking like Transformers, but that could change.
And again, that's only really because Unicron is in there. That's really why we're thinking about it.
And you know what? I don't hate some of those other ones.
I never saw, like, I stopped after part 2. I never saw, like,
think
there's
that's where
one
I
where
stopped,
Anthony
too.
Hopkins comes out the last night.
No shit, I didn't see that
There's
one.
Bumblebee. There's
I don't think I saw the Mark Wahlberg one at all.
that one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Is John Cena in one? I don't know.
I don't know.
I just feel like the Transformers and the Fast movies have merged.
I don't know.
I told my nephew that my nephew was like, "What are the Fast Furious movies?" I was like, "They're pretty cool." I said, "You know, Most of them.
I only like 1 and 5, really.
It's like,
Really?
I was like, at this point, the Fast family can kick the Avengers ass. I think I said this last episode.
They can beat anyone.
Oh yeah, I mean they're amazing. So,
Right.
but yeah,
I mean, the music was really good
yeah,
in both movies.
I agree, 100%.
The animation
Perfect.
just keeps like stepping up their game on the animation. The writing. Dean says John Cena is in Bumblebee. So
I knew
there you go.
that he wasn't one of those. I was like, yeah.
The writing is tight, super tight. Little things here and there that we don't like, but I mean, for the most part, man,
very minimal. And Double A knows this about me, right? One of the things we say on our show all the time is like, I'm a huge fan of writing. I'm a huge fan of a story. For the most part, it could be like not the best actor there, but if the story is really good, and again, I feel like these, and I pitched this to our friend, fellow podcaster Jerry D. He hosts a Totally Rad Christmas, an 80s podcast. He says, he's like, I didn't watch it because I'm a Peter Parker guy, and I'm not a big Miles fan. I said, I get it. He's a comic book reader, so I was like, all right, I get it. That's fine. I said, but these stories have so much heart. I can watch Into the Spider-Verse over and
really
over
good.
again.
They're really good. It's like I said, I like the originals to be first, but we've already had 6, 7, 8, about 8 Peter Parker movies. I'm good now if they want to switch them out.
And not only that, but the truth is this: when we say if there was a Mount Rushmore, right? What does Mount Rushmore look like, right? It's like faces in stone. If we said who it would be, there was one face that would be a human face, a human-looking face, but it would be Kryptonian, and it would be Superman, and they put a spit curl on him. Then we would see Batman, and it would be the cowl with the ears. That would be the second face. It could be anybody under that cowl. The third face would be Spider-Man, and it would be the big eyes, the wide eyes, and the spiderweb face. But it could be anyone in that, under that. And then the fourth face, well, it's under debate or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I said, hell, even if it was Joker at this point, there could be 3 Jokers. I mean, we don't have to fucking there's been like we said, we've got 2 Oscar-winning Jokers, and we've got like multiple. How many Jokers do we have in cinema?
Oh, man,
we've got Jack Nicholson,
Heath Ledger,
Jared Leto,
Joaquin Phoenix.
I feel like we're missing
Cesar
Romero. We've got 5. That's for a villain. That's a lot.
And each a different version of a Joker.
Yeah. So it's like, that would be another. You would make the face look like a certain type of art, probably.
Like it came out that weekend, and it made like 120 million. And I told CM, I was like, that's why he's on the Mount Rushmore, because it's the name Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Can make that much money. It's like shit.
And this is what I love about it, is that where it's like the character transcends even the origin, even who it is, because it's like it's
people like seriously. I haven't heard anyone being pissed off that it's a Miles story. Like no one.
It's fine.
Like I think because we got in so much Peter Parker already that people are fine.
And again, I do feel as though that these movies are spreading it out because they're giving Gwen a lot too, and I like that. I like that a lot.
But that's why I always say you got to kind of start with the original first before you start making transition. Like with Ghost Rider, they're talking about Robbie Reyes. I was like, start off with Johnny Blaze first,
right?
Then go off. I mean, it's just do the originals first.
Yeah, I've heard people are upset about the Blue Beetle thing. They're like, "Oh, we wanted the the Tim Cord or Tom Cord. I don't know. Blue Beetle's but they were like, "Oh, I wanted him first." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I get it. I think this looks cool. I think it looks cool."
Yeah, but it's just like you say, you want the original. Now, again, we've already had a shitload of Peter Parker movies, so I think people are just ready to see another kind. And it's not like you're getting rid of Peter Parker altogether.
No, never.
He's really in the fucking movie too.
Oh yeah, I think he's the linchpin to all the things. So you need him. You know what I mean? But any comments we missed?
No.
Guys, I think we're pretty. That's it.
Yeah,
I think we've talked about it. You've seen it, and if you haven't, we hope that you will. If
everyone seems to have liked it, like I said in our group, when we posted some stuff, I mean, everyone's just kind of geeking out. It's like CM said. It's like you can almost see the smile on their faces when they notice something. It's like, damn,
they're happy to be talking about it. Guys.
Yeah.
So if you've seen it one time, you've seen it 2 times, go see it a 3rd time, go see it a 4th time. I want to see it again. I cannot wait to see it again. I don't know because I've got other stuff to watch, as we all do. If I'll get to see it again before we get,
especially us since we're
right. Yeah,
we're catching up on a lot of stuff. We got What We Do in the Shadows coming out in July, I think.
Gosh,
so
I forgot to start that.
We got it. Yeah, we got that too.
I gotta get back on Double A's account to get on that stuff, whatever. But guys, if you get a chance, please go check out our website. It just goes straight to our link tree, which takes you to our TikTok, to our Facebook, whatever. We don't post a lot of like us chatting or bullshitting. We post mainly about the topics that we discuss.
Yeah,
so,
that's it.
You know what I mean?
Really.
Like just a little quick video for you to like or share or whatever, or get you thinking about the topic that we talked about. So I'm trying to do more of that. So we look forward to that. Guys, if you're not a part of our Facebook group, we invite you to please join us. Whatever. Yeah. If you have something random to post, something that happened with an article you read or whatever about the comic, about the artist, whatever, come join us. Come talk about it, man. We would love to hear what you have to say regarding, no, you're good. Regarding anything about that. Well, whatever it is, whatever pop culture news it is.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, anything. It could be wrestling. It could be music. I put on the new Sting song.
Yes,
on the
which
group
was
chat.
good. I liked it. I was like, it's Aaron Lewis?
It's Aaron Lewis.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're back together.
Yeah, right now for a
Okay,
little bit,
cool,
But
cool.
I mean, it's stuff like that, like any kind of updates. If you see an anniversary movie, that's coming up at the theater, post it. I mean,
Yeah, we love that stuff. Man, we've talked about directors, we've talked about writers, artists. We've talked about our experiences at Comic Cons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what are your experiences? What are your like wins, losses? How did you deal? How did you cope? Talk about that. Post those stories. We'd love to see it. And I know you guys, a lot of people that are currently like, we've got our current Friday Night Faithful. We want you guys to join as well, but people that are coming from the Collecting Weekly side, we know that you guys do toys and there's that. We'd love to see that stuff. I show this guy stuff all the time, and I'm like, look at this they made. And he's like, holy shit, that's incredible. You know what I mean? So I think people that are in our group would equally love to see like the amazing things that you guys collect as well. So please bring that into the Friday Night Faithful. We'd love to have you there talking about that as well. If you're not already, it's at JAFN Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Please, like it says there, sub, like, follow, share. Man, I cannot believe the response we got today.
Yeah,
early
thank you.
on that first hour, man. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Collecting Weekly. I mean, for us to be offered this opportunity to have a slot on Friday, I mean, it's like somebody was like, come and host a Tonight Show. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like we'll do what we can. That's why I was like fucking full of nerves. Even Adam was like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I don't know, I'm all fucked up. So, but again, guys, we just want to do justice to the Friday night slot and bring you guys quality, entertaining content. You know what I mean? We love to produce this show and do it. So we hope that other people will like it too. So check that out. I think that's it for that stuff or whatever, but we'll check back to the comments real quick. Where are we
the
at?
last one.
Here we go.
Last one.
Okay.
Great stream and salute to Oxfather for the great move bringing you guys as guest panelists. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, everyone, for saying that. We really appreciate it, man. It's our pleasure. It's our honor to be here.
Like I said, we're going to be covering maybe Transformers, The Flash. We got the Punisher seasons we're going to cover.
Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad. If you've had thoughts about that and you haven't had a chance to talk about it, we're going to give you that chance. And then other things, man. We have a bunch of stuff that we've just been waiting to talk about. So, like I said, we take it old school, we bring it new school, we try to bring current stuff too.
People love that when we talked about Daredevil, and Daredevil's been gone since 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comic books. We read comics. Sometimes we talk about those stories. We've been talking about. We've yet to do Kingdom Come. We've yet to do Dark Knight Returns. Whatever. We've yet to do Watchmen. We've done the sequel to Watchmen, the show that was on HBO, but I mean, yeah, so all that stuff is out there, and we're also open. We've said this since the beginning when we started. There's something that you want us to read, something that you want us to watch, something you want us to talk about, let us know. I mean, we'll talk about it, we'll give it a discussion, and we'll decide, yeah, that was weird, we watched that was weird, we talked about it.
Nothing's really off topic, honestly.
Yeah, and if you ever seen if you go back and look at our October episodes, we love Halloween, we love spooky shit, so in October we covered nothing but, I mean, what did we do this past year? Tales.
Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side,
Tales from the Hood.
Tales from the Hood. I mean, Tales of the Walking Dead.
Yes,
so
a lot of fun, man. Like I said, we're Walking Dead fans, we're Game of Thrones fans. I mean, we did House of the Dragon. You know what I mean? So, this is the shit we love, man, and we just love talking about it. So bring it on. We want to hear your suggestions. We want to know what else you want us to talk about. We want to talk about it with you because we want you to contribute too. having these conversations with you makes it so much more fun when people are like also fans and they're just like sharing their thoughts and their insights. You know what I mean? Like, Dean, Irwin, Joe, all of you guys, Gil earlier. It's like, it's amazing. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I know that when it comes to the toys and the collectibles, whatever, CW is like, I mean, they're in it. They're the ones. I think I'm like, talk to them about that stuff. But if you want to like mix in a little bit of the other stuff, whatever, bring it in. I mean, like, we're gonna try to be here for you as many Fridays as we can, as long as they want us to guest. Yeah, we're gonna be here. You know what I mean? Like, your Friday has an open slot,
and hey, even if we're not gonna be on here, we're still gonna be here on Fridays.
Yeah, yeah. Even if they tell us, hey, we're giving you the boot, we got a new show, we'll still be doing this on Friday. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because we know there's other great San Antonio podcasts that are doing things on Friday, and we have love and respect and appreciation for them too. So. You get to choose.
Tell them one more time about the contest.
Oh, right. Yes. Guys, please go check out the contest here. It's on our Facebook page. It's on the Collecting Weekly Facebook page. It's a Google Doc. Fill it out. You can win a Carnage hot toy that looks fucking incredible.
Like I said, go to the page so you can actually see.
I'm not eligible, but we're not eligible, but damn, I wish we were. Because it looks fucking badass, whatever. You know what I mean? And man, I'm really sad. My nephew was supposed to be here tonight. His birthday's coming up next week. The guy's gonna be 10. He's a great fucking kid, man. I love him so much. Happy 10th birthday, kiddo. Oh shit, I don't want to toast on an empty. I hope you have a great birthday, mijo. You deserve it. You kicked ass at school and all that. So happy birthday, godson. Love you so much. All of you guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for talking with us. We're going to leave you with what we like to say at the end of every show that we do. So this is our little outro, our little mantra, right? There's something that you want to do, a hope, a dream, something that you want to follow, accomplish. Go out and do it. Today is the day. Do it. Seize the day. We believe that. Carpe diem, right, Double A? Yes, right sir. Out of Dead Poet Society.
Dead Poet Society. Yes, sir.
Anyone here that's already a podcaster, anyone here that's already a fan, anyone here that chose to buy a collectible that they loved, because it was in their heart, going to see a movie, you did it. Seize the day, right? We tell you to do that with everything that you do in your life, man. Don't wait. Now is the time. And the other thing we'd like to say, we like to quote the great, out of all this, it led us to this moment, right? It led us to, Chris Evans playing the great Captain America, Steve Rogers, right? And then we get to Endgame, the big moment, and he's leading the Avengers back in time on the time heist, and he says, we got to do whatever it takes.
He's really good at that.
He's really good at that, exactly. We firmly believe that. Do whatever it takes, guys, within respect of the law, within reason, you know what I mean? Seize the day. Do whatever it takes, guys. It's been
Miles
a real pleasure.
Or he's trying.
Yep, exactly.
He's trying to stop that.
Exactly. He's on his way. He's going to do his own thing.
Yeah.
He's not going to put up with
even though he landed in the wrong universe.
I like it. And it seems like Gwen is going to do her own thing, too. Yeah. I like that. Because I miss Spider-Man.
Oh, did you see the name of her band?
The Mary Janes.
The Mary Janes.
Yeah. And I was wondering, because the lead singer was a redhead, is that supposed to be Mary Jane in her universe, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like I kind of want to know her story. So, guys, do whatever it takes. Seize the day. I'm CM Chuck.
I'm Double A.
We're just another Friday night. San Antonio's premier pop culture podcast with P Breaks. Live on Friday nights. YouTube, Facebook. Later on, you can check us out on Spotify. You can even see this video on Spotify as well. We are so thankful and grateful for all of you for joining us and all the contributions that you guys made. We cannot wait to do it again next Friday, guys. What are we going to be talking about? We don't know yet.
I don't know.
We'll figure it out as we go. Guys, pick up a 6-pack, grab a cold one, and be ready for next week. All right, guys, good night.